Yeah. Hey, 24/7 been working. Music keep me on my feet. Moms and pops have been banking that moolah with all they children. Got a family to feed. Oh yeah, I be about my business, chasing after labels. They don't gotta chase me. They shouldn't have to. I battle daily with my mind, cause it's filled with a dream. I gotta start living that. Any ammo that is shot through lines, I will load my 9 and then I give it back. Beam me on them like it's laser tag. Well, you've been asking questions, I've been counting blessings. Women know by now that I would never stress them. Madden bands like mathematics lessons. Notebook on the way, I gotta book some sessions. Y'all been on this grind, ain't noticing. Hope I can team up with Yogi, split God on waste space. Try that smell love and Kev really on this shit. Sick lane, I love you. That beef shit is over with 24/7. 24/7. I write the chains, lies, a whole audience catch it. Catching that change like I aimed at close range. Be that pain to the grain with the trigger impressive. No one knows what I'm producing for sure. Know that my crew really do this for sure. No one can say they stuck true to the boy. I've been hotter than Lucifer's flow when destroying boy. Please don't try and give me compliments. I don't need love when I'm confident in my own game. Niggas screaming out dimes and shit label me great over all my accomplishments. Knowing my topic trend. Open my topic trend.
Yeah, young niggas stepping up into the game. Chains on my back, got me feeling like Luke Cage. Feeling with rage, being this pain. Trying to spread my wings like a bird in a cage. People keep saying Moon Savage have changed. The only thing changed about me is my lanes. Don't fuck with these niggas, cause niggas is lame. I stay to myself and I just do my thing. People keep saying I'm so stuck in my ways. I'm getting to the guap so different island feel the same. I'm a lyrical weapon, I'm a 30 when it bang. I'm a lyrical weapon, I'm a 30 when it bang. Don got the pumpy, this up in the press it. Moon got the 40, this up in the wet it. Leave you beheaded, nigga, I get it. Nigga, I gotta turn up. 24/7 I'm working. Young niggas scratching the surface. My niggas is trapping the serving. I used to be sitting in service. Lil' nose, a nigga ain't perfect. Everything I got, bitch, I earned it. This world is mine, I deserved it. 24/7, 24/7, 24/7 I'm working. Young niggas scratching the surface. My niggas is trapping the serving. I used to be sitting in service. Lil' nose, a nigga ain't perfect. Everything I got, bitch, I earned it. This world is mine, I deserve it. 24/7, 24/7.
I left my brother at home. No more texting, no more calling my phone. I'm in my zone. Parents don't fuck with me. Luckily, I got a voice that is gold. It is me versus my verses. Pick my verse up when you're versing. I've been hurting, you've been lurking. 24/7, I'm working. Yeah. Donovan Michael, man, comeback season. Baby, y'all in my beat.
What's the flavor? What's the flavor? What's the flavor? What's the flavor? Cup watching you a peeping time. Nosy neighbor, nosy neighbor. What's the flavor? What's the flavor? What's the flavor? What's the flavor? Cup watching you a peeping time. Nosy neighbor, nosy neighbor. Baby, y'all in my Kool-Aid, in my Kool-Aid, and it help me stir it. Baby, y'all in my Kool-Aid, in my Kool-Aid, and it help me stir it. Baby, y'all in my Kool-Aid, in my Kool-Aid, and it help me stir it. Baby, y'all in my Kool-Aid, in my Kool-Aid, yeah, they be all in my soul. Why you always in the mix with it? And you ain't help me mix, did you? My table is full, can't eat with you fools. Now you can't even sit with us, let alone have a sale with us. Now you can't even hit this one. Simple and plain, can tell by your frame that you don't get the big picture. That boy that here a soft drink, that mean they got some with him. Listen, this a A and B conversation. See, they all on my D in my conversation. Pockets on E, F that. Me against you, that's a mismatch. Get that disrespect, I'm a lit match. Game easy, so I treat it like it's pit patch. Baby, y'all in my Kool-Aid, in my Kool-Aid, and it help me stir it. Baby, y'all in my Kool-Aid, in my Kool-Aid, and it helped me stir. They be all in my Kool-Aid, in my Kool-Aid, and it helped me stir. They be all in my Kool-Aid, in my Kool-Aid, yeah, they be all in my soul. You must got me mixed up. Wait, it must be a mix up. She said I'm a stiff drink. And well, you a mix one. I'm the type to mix business with pleasure. I love getting money, we just go together. My homeboy, he got a dope wrist. Your girlfriend, we call her Blowfish. Since you all in my fridge, I ain't lost the intro. All at your crib and I do it again. Boy, I don't play, let's I play to win. I hit your girl once and I'm gone in the win. You thirsty, boy, power up. Want invited why you show up? Oh, you want a taste of the good life? Somebody tell that boy to grow up, grow up. They be y'all in my Kool-Aid, in my Kool-Aid, and it help me stir. They be y'all in my Kool-Aid, in my Kool-Aid, and it help me stir. They be y'all in my Kool-Aid, in my Kool-Aid, and it help me stir. They be y'all in my Kool-Aid, in my Kool-Aid, yeah, they be all in my soul. They be all in my mix, all in my mix, all in my mix. They be all in my mix, all in my mix, all in my mix. They be all in my kitchen, I mean in my business. They say that they're hungry, but won't do the dishes. Don't pay them no mind, don't pay them no dishes. Good, pay me to pay them for business. They be all in my mix, all in my kitchen. They be y'all in my mix. They be y'all in my mix.
Welcome back.
Welcome back.
Beyond.
It's been a week, we were off last week, but we're back at it.
We are here.
Welcome back.
Talk about some girls basketball and get some questions. Have some great guests today. And if you have any questions, we have our number there and our website to log in and watch.
Twitter or Facebook. And before we go on, let's give a shout out to one of our new audience members, Prince Ramsey, and that was his music. So we will be supporting all the acts local and beyond, because that's what we do.
Yes.
And
supporting Ohio.
It's about the kids.
It's about the kids.
So do we need to introduce our guest? We don't, but we'll let her introduce herself.
You don't want to give me the mic. I'll just talk.
All right.
That's what we're here for. That's what we're here for.
No, I'm Cindy Martin. I lived here in Columbus the last 5 years and coached college for a long time and helping out in the area, coaching some girls AU basketball, Sports City U. Just came from practice, so a little bit hoarse right now. But no, I do skill training and stuff, and just excited to be on. Excited what you guys are doing.
Yes, and we are glad to have you.
Excited to have you here.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for asking.
Yes. It's the moment here. Getting set up.
So you said you are not originally from Columbus?
I am from Florida.
Florida.
Florida. Born and raised.
Okay.
Born and raised.
Okay, what part?
We're supposed to say Duval County, so I'm going to say Duval County.
Okay.
I'm from Jacksonville, but I played in Florida, and then I've moved all around the country since then to coach basketball. So
Okay.
long way from home. Long
I was
way from
going to
home.
say, what brought you?
It's cold up here. It's cold.
And we all moved down there. We never
Right.
You know, it was my first job. You know, I started coaching right out of college. I finished in Florida and then coached JUCO for a few years. And then Mike Carey got the job at West Virginia, and I went up as one of his assistants. So it just was for work, you know. So I've just been bouncing around for work. So,
Okay.
yeah, but I like Columbus. It's a good spot.
Yeah. You just never know what
Yes,
you're
there
going to
are.
get here. From weather
to
everything.
Some days you are back in Florida.
Right. Like, why am I here?
You know, we just went down there. My family and I took our girls to Disney. It was crazy. It was too hot. I was ready to go home.
See?
So
Okay.
it was too hot. It was.
Like, I don't want to do this home.
Not every day.
It's been
Yeah.
a very nice summer. I mean, it hasn't been summer that long. When the
But it's been
20th, I think.
comfortable. Yeah, it's been
But
so comfortable.
I can live with this weather. all
This is
summer.
nice. Yes, this is nice.
It's been comfortable.
Yes.
Yep.
So if it don't get any hotter, I would be.
That's perfect. Right.
And another
It's
short
impossible.
winter. Let's
Yes.
go for another short winter.
Yeah, but
a
you know
mild
what?
winter.
Sometimes these winters being mild, is probably not killing the pollen and stuff, and it's causing everybody to have these allergies.
Why we looking at you in your sunglasses?
Over here.
Looking like you're just trying to be cool, but
I'm not trying to be cool. Yeah. This is for everyone's safety. You ever seen a cartoon where they take off Yuck's doghouse? And they be like, Yuck's gonna take off your doghouse. Have you ever seen the movie Mask?
Yes.
I'm Rocky Dennis.
Okay.
So, for anybody that don't know who Rocky Dennis is, Google it, Mask, watch the movie.
Yeah.
And you'll see why he had his glasses on.
Right.
He sent us a picture earlier and we get it.
Keep him on. Keep him on.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Hopefully he gets that together and take care of himself. He don't have to wear the glasses to work.
Yeah, I'm not working. They don't want to see this.
Okay.
Banned from a lot of places.
They're like, what does he have? I don't know. Send him out of here. No, that's fine. So we were off last week, as Fire said, and we did a poll.
Yes.
Because last week we wanted to talk to everybody about the NCAA eligibility and those type of things, because there's one thing to be good at basketball, but if you have no idea what it takes to get a scholarship, then you are defeated.
Absolutely.
If you don't know if you have the correct GPA, if you haven't registered with the clearinghouse.
Core classes. Yep, core classes.
Exactly.
Yep.
And so Rico did a poll, and if you want to read the poll that we did, Rico, and just talk about the statistics a little bit.
So we put the poll out, I think it was last week, I believe.
Yes, last
Tuesday.
Yes.
Yeah. So the poll came back, and 63% of the people said that they were informed about what it takes to get a scholarship. And I think that's 39%.
38.
38, I can't.
Yeah,
You
can't see it. Sorry.
38% said
38%.
that they weren't. So it's something that at least 38% of the people that follow us need to know and would like more information on. So that's why we're here to help you with things that you may not know or things that you may be a little unsure of as far as getting that scholarship and what the requirements are. So
especially for all the things, the kids, the kid lingo. I'm going D1.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm going D1. Okay. You want to go D1? You may have the talent, but do you have the grades, and do you have everything set up, and do you have a good counselor at your school? There's a whole lot of things to go on D1, whether it's D1, D2, D whatever. Scholarship money, anything that's going to pay for your college is always a plus. So, but you do need to know what it takes to get there.
Well, if anybody's listening that doesn't know much about it, just college coaching for 11 years myself, they need to go to the NCAA clearinghouse, and check it out. There's a great little section just for parents to read, because I would say, at least at the girls' top level AAU events, they're required to show the video. Exactly. The kids see it, but I agree they need an adult in their life,
right,
helping them and making them stay on track. And it does start freshman year.
Yes.
I've seen a lot of young ladies. I coached junior college for 2 years that they were Division I players, they were Division I talent, but they definitely didn't end up qualifying, and that's how they went junior college.
Wow.
And kind of messed up that full scholarship. We got players that should have been in the SEC or Big East or Big Ten, and they ended up hopefully going there. They
eventually,
right, but they missed out on that 4-year experience at the same school. And again, not knocking junior college, that's a great route for some folks. But if you start freshman year in the right classes and the right track for that core requirement, it's a big difference maker. So
yes, it is. Yeah. And I'll just say, just off of the subject, not just about the basketball, but when I used to be a parent consultant, there was a lady who came into one of the meetings, and she said, my child has gotten straight A's, throughout their whole school career, their whole time they was in school. By the time her child was a senior, they didn't have any offers, for school, any scholarship money, and it was because they weren't taking the correct classes.
Right.
So just because you're doing well in school,
Correct.
does not mean you're in the correct classes that's going to prepare you for college, or that colleges are willing to offer you that money because you haven't done enough. So there's a lot of things behind just basketball you need to know.
Right.
They break it down really well on the website too. Just how many math,
Yes,
how many
they do.
English, how many
Yes.
science and electives.
Yes.
And that's the thing that you're right. Most people miss. They think they have a really good GPA, and then they miss it on the test score, or they miss it because they're not getting enough core classes, and it's too late by senior year. So
Exactly.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes. So I actually do have a website that I had sent, for the people that I'm going to post. We're going to post it afterwards, but I have it's www.athleticscholarship.net/NCAA-clearinghouse.html. Now we're going to post it, but again, www.athleticscholarship.net /NCAA-clearinghouse.htm, or excuse me, HTM.
Yes.
I need my glasses now.
Yes.
And there is a section for parents as well as the students.
Right.
So you can go through it. It tells you, when to register, how to fill it out, the fees, just different things that you need to know. And if they're not registered in Clearinghouse, they can't be offered a scholarship.
Right.
So,
and there are different guidelines for Division I and Division II.
Yes,
It's
there
a little
are.
bit different, so people need to look at that. And NAI
Yes.
has their own governing body, so there's
Yes.
Yes.
lots of things.
and a lot of that is GPA.
Mhm.
GPA, ACT, SAT scores. If you're looking to do Division I now, I think it's 2.3 at least
Yes.
to even be looked at.
And that's just your core.
And that's
you know,
just
throw out
basic,
all the
right.
others. Yeah.
Yes, and that doesn't include all of everything else as well as your SAT or ACT.
What's the ACT minimum? I don't know what that is. What is the ACT minimum?
Well, in order to be eligible, you have to have at least an 18, but that's
Right. It's
Very-
That's
sliding
great. That's
scale.
about
Very-
it.
Yep.
high GPA.
To balance it out.
Mhm.
Right.
So that's a cumulative GPA, right?
It's a GPA of only your core classes, so they're only going to
Yes.
look at the core ones. So like your
Yes.
math, your sciences, your English, your
And your
history, a couple
social
social
studies.
studies. So they throw everything else out the window.
Right. You
You
can
know,
have an A in
something-
typing.
In
you
the
can
choir
have an A
classes,
in-
everything
right,
that balances
band.
out.
So yes, parents, that chess class is not
That's
Well, if
Yes.
they're taking chess, they might be pretty smart. I don't
Right.
know.
Yes,
That's
they
true.
may be great in
You're
math.
smart enough,
Make
but
sure
that
your
class
chess
won't
class
count.
and your math class is equal.
Right.
No two gym classes.
Right.
Okay.
But speaking on the clearinghouse, we also did a poll with that, and with that poll, 53% of the people knew about clearinghouse and when they could register, and 47% were unaware about that. So I'm
That's a
sure
lot.
this information is helping them, because that's almost 50% of the people that didn't
Did
really
not know.
know.
Yes, and most of them are probably kids because
Mhm.
those are the
Right.
ones that are on Twitter that's really
Just paying attention.
Yeah.
Right.
Especially
So,
for lunch you got next.
Share
so.
this with your parents or your guidance counselor, your coaches, whoever's
definitely get
involved
with
with
your
you.
guidance counselor.
That's the
and
thing.
that's helping you along the path as far as getting you to that next level, because these are the most important things that are outside of being on the court. Definitely.
The guiding counselor thing you said, that's very important, because I know ours, when you go in there, each year they make sure you're checking off the right boxes to get
Mhm.
you to the next level, college. Even if it's not just basketball, this is for everyone to keep up with what you need to get into college.
Yes. So we'll do the last poll later, but we're gonna talk to our guest here.
Mm-hmm.
Came so graciously through traffic after her
God.
practice today. 5, 6 o'clock traffic.
The wires.
Traffic.
The
Yes,
wires
it
coming up
was.
71 North.
So you said you were from Florida.
I am.
What high school did you attend?
Bishop Kenny High School. We won 2 state championships. I got to say that too.
Okay.
Definitely.
Proud of
Right. What position did you play?
Point guard.
Okay.
Yes,
Yes.
I
I
see
saw
that.
it. Yeah.
I'm like 5'1". I play point guard. But I
Right.
did my job. I ran my team. So
Okay.
Well, that's
that's
good.
what you do. That's
Yep.
what Lark does.
Do your thing.
Mhm.
So, okay.
We always talk about this as far as point guards, and I always bring this up. while you were at point guard, did the coach yell at you more, or did you feel like he came at you a little bit more than the other players?
Always more. And if he didn't, one day I'd go and tell him, don't, that's me. If we mess up, it's my fault. It was when the team did well. And that's, obviously it took me to my junior, senior to really embrace that attitude. But I hope young point guards listen. I mean, it is you. It revolves through you.
Right.
And I really mean that. And as a coach, I talk about that a lot. I recruited my point guards and talked about that on the phone, even with recruits, because if they didn't kind of get that, I wouldn't have been a good coach for them. It wouldn't have been a good fit. That it's on you. Your name's not in the paper. It's not. You're not going to see that side of it. You're going to see success, and you know that it started from you and getting the right person, the ball at the right time. And you're the coach's voice on the court. You're the, I don't know, it's the backbone and the heart and soul of the team. Obviously I have a lot of energy.
There you go.
And in everything I do, my team is probably laughing if they're listening right now, because we just had a 6-hour practice and I'm still ready to go. But that's the way it should be. And just being smart and executing those little things. And that's kind of why I coach now, and what I'm loving about being with Sports CU. I just missed it. I missed having a team and to teach some of the little details. But I do skills training and I enjoy it. I mean, I have kindergarten all the way through high school, and I'm not the right fit for everybody. If you don't want to work hard, don't come see me. I'm going to make you just run. So, come, be ready to work, be ready to learn. And then I really think I can help players, learn the ins and outs of the game. And it's amazing to me. I mean, I coach girls and boys, and it's been interesting working with the boys. It's a different,
that's what we were
it's a different style.
That's definitely one of our questions.
But I actually enjoy it. They actually respond. One of my best groups is my middle school boys. Like my classes just sell out, and it's a great group. And sometimes at first I was a little like, okay, because your guys are listening on radio, but I'm 5'1". I'm this, short little white girl, and they walk in the gym and they're like, oh, okay, you played at Florida, you're my coach right now. And they do kind of look at me funny, and then it's go time, and
they're like, okay,
oh yeah, it's I mean, they move. It's
right.
It's actually pretty cool. I never really thought about coaching the guys, but I mean, I would do it if there was a high school job. I'd do it. I don't know. I think it's fun.
ADs.
It's all kind of jobs open right now.
A big shift.
I know. That would be cool. That would be
answering a lot of our questions right now, but we're still gonna go back to them.
But but my heart and passion is with the girls. They don't come in the gym and work on their game like the guys do. Unfortunately, it's lower numbers. You know what I mean? On their own. And I'd love to see younger girls coming out, that 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, where we can teach them how to do a jump stop and a bounce pass and a shot fake and the little things, so that they actually have success with it when they do play, and then they'll keep playing longer, So I don't know.
Well,
the elite ones are going to play, but
our 5th grade team, she got next.
Yeah.
Coach Ron, they're at nationals.
Okay.
They're at nationals right now.
So, and they've been making some noise. So
good.
They need to probably come over there and
I'd love to
get in your class.
Yeah.
She got next.
Yes.
Congratulations. Good luck, ladies.
That's great.
Yes.
Definitely try to get them over.
So AAU. Did you play AAU?
I did. In Florida, I'm going to date myself here because I graduated high school in '94. So we did Police Athletic League back then.
Okay.
That was like last week.
Yeah. But when I think when I really came into my own game, because my high school coach is it ran through me. I ran the system, but he was a 6'9" guy that got drafted by the Celtics and ended up getting hurt. So it was get the ball inside. It was a structured get the ball inside kind of system, and it worked. We had good bigs that we could get the ball to. So that was my role there. And I realized after my sophomore year, okay, I needed something different though, because for college I needed to be able to, shoot the three and put on score basically. Score. I need to be able to score too. And so I played with a different style team where, I do remember it was Coach Austin. Ribault was the coach, Coach Al Austin, who coached for Ribault. I'm sure you guys have heard of them a little bit. They're pretty good. Powerhouse down in the Southeast. But long story short, I came in the gym and I was like, all right. And they passed me the ball the first time, and I hit this girl off the back of her head under the paint. And Coach Austin blew the whistle and said, shoot the ball. If you're open, shoot it. They'll get the rebound. She's playing at Florida State. She's going to Georgetown, shoot the ball. And we're like, okay. So it was good for me that if I was open, I should shoot it. So I feel like I did have both experiences, which really helped me for college. I could play a controlled set system, and I could also run a gun and press and trap the whole game. So it definitely helped my game. So I guess to all you young listeners, if your high school is, I don't get the ball enough, or it's not through me, then find something different for your
Find the
spring.
spot.
You know,
For your
find
spring, yeah.
something
Yes.
different, and I think it's a good blend.
So
Yeah, make
you
it more
encourage
versatile.
both sets, or do you prefer a set of the guard that you have the Westbrook type guard that
Right.
scores, and then you have more of the I'd say a Rondo guard where he's a facilitator.
Kyrie, he going to the basket.
Right.
Yeah, Kyrie scoring. Yeah, so he's not a facilitator.
You know,
Oh no, he's not.
I feel
Yeah.
like as a trainer, I'm trying to get them ready for what's best for them. As
Yeah.
a coach, I feel like our job, and I've been coaching for 20 years, so I definitely think that mindset more is my job is to win the game and put them in
Yes.
the right position to win. So I think as a coach, you need to be
whoever's
flexible
best at, right.
and put your players in the right position to win. But skills training wise, I mean, I can't tell you how many young players I get, like 5th or 8th grade, that it's, oh, I'm not getting the ball enough. Well, what are you doing? Are you moving without it? Are you setting screens? What are you doing to help yourself? Are you getting
Yes.
offensive rebounds? Getting
Right.
defensive- what are you doing to get the ball more then? Go get the
Yes.
ball more.
Go get it.
Go
And
get
then,
you
then,
can
then
do what
talk to
you-
me about,
Right.
okay, now we need to work on that shot or that move. So personally though, tempo, I mean, I'm a fast paced tempo person.
Mhm.
As a college coach, just where I was, like at West Virginia, we were athletic and quick up and down. And then I coached D2 and it was a little different. We were smaller. We had to be more fundamental and
Okay.
run the set. So it,
Yeah.
Just depends on the kid.
yeah.
Depends on where you went.
And so as a player, if you can do both and I'm recruiting you, especially at a higher level, then you're more marketable,
Yeah.
Right.
So the
This
better
is the conversations that I have had.
Right.
with somebody I know. And you know what? You got to be able to do both.
Yes.
Right.
There's a time. I mean, if you're down by
Yeah.
2 and we have to run this play to win,
Somebody gotta
you got to
step
be able
up.
to
Somebody has to always. Yeah.
execute. Yep.
Mhm.
Yeah. So I get it.
Yeah,
It's
so
been something.
for you point guards out there, master everything, basically. And like she said, if the system's not working towards you, maybe you should find something that works towards you, or coaches that play more to what you're accustomed to or what your strengths are.
Right.
Right.
What you're
And in
saying.
the spring, and you know what I tell players a lot too, especially in the high school level, go in and sit down with your high school coach and talk, make up a list of what are my weaknesses, where do I need to work, what do I need to be working on in the
Yes.
spring and
Right.
summer. And that's what I mean, not so much what's happening here, it's wrong, for
Right.
all my
It's
high school
just
buddies out there.
Go out
They
here
got to do what they got to
and
do to win.
correct it.
Mhm.
Yes.
And then you need to do in the spring, the summer, and the fall what's going to help you get better.
Yeah.
So if they're
Right.
saying you're not handling pressure well, then go put yourself on a team that you're going to get pressed and
Yes.
Right.
figure it out. You know what I mean?
Yes.
So
That's
work
good.
on it. But yes, point guard should do everything.
I like that.
That is.
Yeah.
That is it.
Yeah.
Do everything and be good at it.
Right. 0 turnovers, right?
Yes.
That would be amazing.
I'll do that.
That
Are
would
you
be
a coach that
amazing.
loses it after a turnover?
No, in fact, I'm completely opposite. I'm a very fundamental, structured coach in practice. And I feel like I used to tell my college players this, look, my job is stand over here and just look pretty. Y'all, your job is to
You
play.
already did.
Exactly.
My job
Your
is done. And
Yes.
now I'm going to make
Yeah.
some tweaks and fine tune it.
That's
and
what
sub.
I like. Mhm.
I'm gonna encourage you. I'm gonna cheer for you. That's my job as a coach during a game. I'm supposed to be your biggest supporter, and so I believe play through a mistake. I'm not gonna yank you out because
Mhm.
I think personally that's when, especially
It shuts people
women,
down
young
sometimes.
ladies,
Yeah.
it's different. Dudes, it's different.
It
I
is.
can
I
yank
think
a
so
guy,
too. I think
and that's what
so
I'm.
too.
Yeah.
It's different the last 7 years
Yeah.
when I coach a guy. I can yank him out. I can get in his face and yell at him,
He
and I
is
say, "Don't do it again." I'll
right.
go right back. He's fine. But
Right.
but most young women would shut down on that. So
And they
during a
do.
live game, when everybody's watching from the stands, I feel like our job is to support and encourage, and then kind of really get on them and practice.
Yeah.
But let them
Yes.
play through their mistakes in a game.
I think
It's
a lot
my-
of coaches miss it that when they pull them out of.
That's
They
my
do.
strategy.
Yeah.
But now they can't,
Yes.
shoot 3 air balls in a row. We gotta.
Right,
Yeah.
right. I
That's
get what
the
you're saying.
problem.
That's the problem.
But
yeah,
but
I
I'd rather
understand
that
Yeah.
that creative move and go for it, and then we'll talk about, hey, try this next time, try that.
Right.
Yeah.
Good shot, it'll go in.
Yeah.
So support. I think
That's
support is
good.
necessary.
It's
It
mental.
is. It is.
It is.
And
mental.
most of the game is mental. And
Yeah.
depending on the kid, if they, some kids, they just really can't take it. They shut down.
They drop their
and
head.
then they
Yeah.
go back in and they don't do well. And then you wonder why.
Mhm.
So,
It's tough.
yeah.
It is.
You got about what, like 5 or 6 coaches on, and I don't mean the
Right.
the bench, so
Yes,
it's hard to please
exactly.
everybody. So
Especially the mom's coach.
That's right.
I think that I'm the best coach. No.
Well, that's almost like, what was that? Our first show about the parents.
Parents coaching.
Coaching.
Yeah. Well,
What's your
not
take?
necessarily parents coaching, but parents acting crazy and stands and ruining
Yeah.
your kids' chances.
You know, I evaluate for Blue Star and for OGBR, and I love what they tell them before they start, and they go over
Yes.
the roles of each person very, very well.
Right.
Yep. And Vincent, you know, pretty much asked, what's the role of the parents? What's the role of the I mean, parents, your job is to support, you know, and
Mhm.
coaches coach, players play, officials
Yes,
officiate.
I like that.
And I love that.
Yes,
you know,
I do too.
I personally love that and treat it the same way. So
And it when they do that, it makes them. I like usually at the like the OGBR stuff or the top 64 stuff. Well, I've never actually heard any parents.
never.
Acting crazy.
Yep.
They usually are
Never.
well behaved. They are always
Very well
I've been there
Because
a number of
very,
times.
Like
and they
this is what the requirement is. If you have something to say to your
Well,
child, then you do it outside.
Outside.
The,
Yes.
the thing
Afterwards,
that's
so.
missed is I mean, you've got 100 coaches just sitting there, and,
Right.
and you know, and I've sat there as a coach for 11 years, and now I sit there as an
Mhm.
evaluator, and I know a lot of the young ladies, and I'll try to walk over and tell them something if I see hey, you know,
Yes.
hey, you
Get
gotta
it together.
get it together, and just know they're watching. They're watching when you do something good, but they're really watching when you make that mistake. And what are you going to do
How
after you turn it
recover.
over? Are you going to
Mhm.
run back and get on D, or are you going to put your head down and pout about it?
Yes.
So
Right.
Yeah.
how you handle yourself is so important. And then the other thing as a recruiter, if there was a top player and I was there to watch her play, I'm not watching anybody else in the gym. I'm watching her, and I'm watching her before. I'm watching her if she's making eye contact with somebody in the stands. You know, I'm watching how they're acting in the
Right.
stands. There's
Yeah.
been many a player, and this is a true story, many a player that I've decided, you know what, no, I don't think
Mhm.
we you know, we've got 10 that do the same thing at the same position.
Right.
And I'm
Who
going to
do
look
we wanna
at
deal with
character
as a-
probably first.
Exactly.
I'm going to
Right.
look at their academics second, you know, and I'm looking at is there baggage or not, you know, and a lot of times that
Right.
baggage
Right.
travels over there in the
Yeah.
bleachers, and I'm going to leave that alone, you know, because I
I
don't,
get
as a
it.
college coach, deal with that for 4 years.
Yes.
That's
Right.
Yes.
And I mean, if you think about it, for any job, you know,
Yep.
when you go to work, you don't want to have to, you know, inherit things that's unnecessary when you're trying to do your job.
oh yeah,
So
exactly. You know, I just
if
need
you
to
don't have to.
Right.
I call them the LeVar Ball parents. So those are the parents that you are Xing their kids off. So wait, if okay, let's say LeVar Ball was a female player and she's as great as he is
Well,
now.
LeVar or you?
Lonzo, yeah,
Okay.
LeVar
Lonzo.
Ball's
Okay.
son.
Okay.
So Lonzo.
So,
yeah.
Lonzo, and you had a chance to recruit him. Would you not recruit?
I think there's some exceptions to the rule of what I'm saying.
Okay.
So I'm going to say
Yeah.
that first for
That
all the,
extraordinary.
for all the men's basketball fans out there. You know, it's different on the women's side though. And I guess I'm talking more to the women's girls high school players that aren't that level. You know, they're not that far apart. I mean, that's like saying, would you not take LeBron if he had a bad attitude? You know,
Right.
Like,
Yeah.
You know, so you know, let's take it down a couple notches from that on the
Who you
girls'
work
side.
with?
If we had, you know, if it was me and you and we were being recruited, you know, if I every time after a game you had to coddle me or, you know, worry about what my parents were going to say, are they going to get a phone call or an email? You're going to drop me and take you, you know. So,
Mhm.
you know, it eliminates players sometimes, unfortunately,
Yeah.
and not just on the girl side, on the boy side too, especially
Yes.
football, basketball, baseball, the higher level,
Oh yeah.
you know,
Right.
recruited
Mhm.
sports.
The other thing that I was talking to some of the parents is it's not just the coaches and things that talk about the parents or what have you. It's also the kids. Like some schools will be recruiting a kid, and they'll say, well, who's your crew, or who do you we're recruiting X, Y, and Z. Do you get along with them? Are you
Yes.
okay to play with them? And if this is their top recruit and they say, oh, no, I can't deal with their parents or I can't deal with their, whatever, then, they stop recruiting.
And I agree with you
It
100%.
happens.
I don't think that happens the same on the guys' side at all.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know,
it
it's
is
just
the same.
different.
It is
It
different.
It's a different,
Right. I don't
and
think they
no
probably ask
disrespect.
that
It's,
question as much.
oh yeah, are you kidding? Two guys could get in a fist
Right.
fight and
And
then
it'd be
still play the
fine.
game that
Come
night.
on. Yeah.
Girls, we'd
Be
hold
like,
a-
do
You can
wanna
notice who's
play with
ready.
her?
We were just talking about
Right.
that.
Sometimes
different.
they know. I'm
Yeah.
not gonna get the
They
best
might
out
be
of
the best.
you.
Mhm.
you know, we mentioned the USA team before we were on air, and chemistry is so important, and
Yes,
again, especially on the
it
girls'
is.
side of it. And I would want to, if it was me and I was looking, I'd want to go somewhere I fit in. I like the coaching staff,
Right.
the players, the campus.
Exactly.
Feels like home,
Yes.
and I think fit, we say it, but it's so important. So
It
I think on the
is.
women's side, yes, I have backed off of some top level players. But I mean, I had other top level players that we were recruiting.
You have some choices.
Yeah, if you're talking apples and apples, I'm gonna cut a few out because I don't want to deal with that for 4 years. So
I mean, that's common sense.
It is
to me.
Yeah.
So
parents, don't hurt your kids.
Oh yeah, just cheer.
Just cheer.
Yeah, cheer loud.
Yeah,
Right.
Cheer loud.
You're there and
Leave the refs alone. Don't say nothing. Do you talk to the refs?
The refs alone.
Do you talk to them? I hope you don't.
I'm
gonna watch next time.
Not really.
That's good.
I've been trying not to talk to the refs as often.
There you go. It's
sometimes
funny.
I'll know the refs.
Right. But I guess as a coach, and I have 2 younger daughters, so I hope I have the same stance down the road. I hope I stay true to this. But I used to always tell my teams in college, my job is to talk to the officials. If I need to say something, I will. It is not your job. We would take you out if you talk to the officials. So it doesn't do any good. It just makes it worse. So
that's
focus on
exactly playing. My husband, he thinks that all refs are they're not biased. No,
right.
he always said he's the one that be like, I don't even know why you get upset about it because they're not going to change their decision.
That's it. We were just talking about that yesterday. And that we go through all of this, but have we ever seen a ref actually go back and
you know what? That was a
You're
foul.
right. You're right.
Especially with somebody in the stands.
Exactly.
Right?
That's why they're not going to listen to you. Like you go through all of this, but
so
they
you get
really
all
changed.
worked up for nothing, and no one cares.
Yeah,
but you.
And I know a lot of really good officials, and especially at the college level, and they honestly they block it all out. Like they're really good at just not hearing it, so it doesn't really do any good anyway. But I think with players, especially again on the women's side of it, it just frustrates them, and then they feel like, well, it's me against 7 or 8 people versus 5 versus 5. So
yeah. So that's touchy little situation here.
All right, y'all want to take a 5-minute break here for a moment?
Sure.
Take a 5-minute break, and we'll be back.
Whoever dreamed to be in second place, they don't run it, nah. And they ain't running, nah. And you don't run nothing, you just bumping guns. Yeah, I run it like I'm in a race. You ain't nothing, you ain't first or last. Whoever dreamed to be in second place, they don't run it, nah. And they ain't running, nah. Shawty just won't leave my crib, so I call her a runaway. Lord, give me your pack. Tell me why would I run away? Quarterback sneak, get it gone in the blink, and I call for another play. He called me the running back, hand it off, and it's on the lay. Run it like Tommy, I give them more run for their money. I run it like Usain Bolt, yeah baby that running. Run it like I'm the CEO. Wait, I am the CEO. I call it a hit and run, cause I hit it and baby I got to go. I might run away with it, if you take it there, like away we go. Head first time I'm running through it. Head first and I'm running through it. Since the Santa knows I've been running, you just run your track, you ain't running nothing. My young boys like the running gun, my whole team ballin', ain't no one-on-one. You just bumping guns, yeah I run it like I'm in a race. You ain't nothing, you ain't first or last. Whoever dreamed to be in second place, they don't run it, nah. And they ain't running, nah. And you don't run nothing, you just bumping guns. Yeah, I run it like I'm in a race. You ain't nothing, you ain't first or last. Whoever dreamed to be in second place, they don't run it, nah. And they ain't running, nah. Shot it mad like I gave her the run around, but really, I had to run around. Can't be no runner up, so I get it in and I run it up. Look, sorry I'm late, I was running behind all this cake. Can't take a break, that's on feet in my face. Don't tell me in circles, you wizard, you ain't. What can I say? I gotta be frank, cause that's all I want in the bank. And to get it, I only see one way. Run it like I'm in a foot race. Run it like police done gave chase. The airplane ain't gon' tell them runway. I step out the house and she distracted like my runway. Like I gave it away. Run through a chick, I get paid every day. Run through a cookie, she running away. He running in circles, that's running in place. Tell him you don't run nothing, you just bumping guns. Yeah, I run it like I'm in a race. You ain't nothing, you ain't fresh at last. Whoever dreamed to be in second place, they don't run it, nah. And they ain't running, nah. And you don't run nothing, you just bumping guns. Yeah, I run it like I'm in a race. You ain't nothing, you ain't fresh at last. Whoever dreamed to be in second place, they don't run it, nah. And they ain't running, nah. Run through a chick, I get paid every day. All I see is fraudulence. 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 All I see is money don't make you real. I'm scared, man. The king let's be real. All I see is fraudulence. All I see is saying I'm the realest. It's fraudulence. Just saying I'm a realist. And all I see is fraudulence. All I see is money don't make you real. I'm scared, man. The king let's be real. All I see is fraudulence. All I see is saying I'm the realest. It's fraudulence. I'm just saying I'm a realist. And all I see might be fly, but I be float. If I stay high, cause I'm just that dope. Ain't tryna be fake, so let's be real. 24K just to see me though. Most of these boys just see me folk. I'm out daily like CP3. You can never see me like a UFO. It's in my jeans, or you ain't know. Listen, money don't make you real if you weren't real when you were broke. Boy, that money gon' get you killed if you were clown, and that's no joke. I don't gang bang, but I bang when it comes to me and my folks. And the same thing for my dough. Yeah, I'm riding around with my toast. On the break bread with who I know. Say amen for that BDA. Gotta say grace before I use my vote. So leapfrog in your coat. No new friends, no fake friends, no nonsense is my quote. No children, no playpen, no fraudulence, and that's dope. All I see is fraudulence. All I see is money don't make you real. I see no scared man, the king let's be real. All I see is fraudulence. All I see is saying I'm the realest. It's fraudulence. Just saying I'm a realist. And all I see is fraudulence. All I see is money don't make you real. I see no scared man, the king let's be real. All I see is fraudulence. All I see is saying I'm the realest. It's fraudulence. I'm just saying I'm a realist.
Welcome back. 94 Feet and Beyond.
Yes,
with our
yes.
special guest,
Yes.
Miss Cindy Martin.
In the building.
Hello.
There we go. And we left off about teams and girls and their behavior as far as parents and stuff. But can you tell some of the viewers and listeners some of the organizations that you are part of?
Sure.
It's a long list.
Well, it is. I coached in college for 11 years, and I played at Florida, and now I do skills training. That's what I've been doing for the last 7 years. So I did that in Nashville for 2 years and helped run some tournaments. And the last 5 years here in Columbus, I mostly do stuff out at Elevate over in Dublin. And I've been asked to. I've gone around to some of the high schools and done like a couple workouts for some of the high school teams, and I enjoy those very, very much. I treat it kind of like my team for the day, and to me, that's not so much about the paycheck. I actually just miss having a team, like my own team. So it's just fun,
Because we know you're about to start coaching boys.
Right, find that boys job.
I would take a high school job. It's funny. People are like, "Oh, you'd never do high school. You did college so long. You probably would get frustrated with that.
So hold on, wait. So
I do miss
I'm
it.
just putting you on the spot here.
Go ahead.
So she said boys, but you are open to coaching girls too.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay,
in
so-
fact, I would definitely choose to coach girls over boys.
Ladies, y'all better listen. There's a few
Right.
open spots I know.
Yeah.
But we got to be able to win. And,
Right.
we'll put in the
Yes,
work and all. But
make
no,
sure.
Right.
I think I love coaching the guys, and I love my skills training classes. I actually enjoy it a lot, and I'm really helping some of the young men get ready for a faster pace and some of the different drills that they've never seen before. But for me, I think just the mentoring side of working with the women and the young ladies, and a lot of them will tell me, you're my first female coach I've had. And I'm like, how are you 16 years old as a female player, never
Right.
had a woman coach you before? And I do
Right.
think,
And there's
so
a
just,
difference.
yeah, no, I mean, and don't get me wrong, I would coach a boys team. I sure would. But I feel that there should be more women coaching women. And
They
it's
do.
something that, that's probably why I'm helping out with Sports City U. Bryce and Tanisha asked me to help. It's kind of my way to give back. It's totally a community service project for me. A lot of time for community service, but
Right.
I didn't realize how much time I was committing to. But no, it's good, and I think they need to see strong women. I'm definitely a strong voice as a coach, and I think they need to see that because they go to college, and a lot of them get that, and they've never had that before.
Yes.
They've truly only had guys coaching them, or
Right.
just kind of a nice supportive kind of female role. And they don't know what to do, and it is different. And I think sometimes it's just like women working with women. I just believe that we can all make each other better.
Right.
And I think experiencing that is good. So
Yeah.
I enjoy the mentoring side just as much as the X and O's. I really do.
The
you know.
girls need that positive energy from a woman around.
Oh
them,
yeah,
too.
it's like the
Yes.
"I am woman, hear me roar." They need a
Yes,
little more
Yeah, the girl
of
power.
that. Yeah. They
Yes.
do. So.
Mhm.
That's good.
Yeah, but no, I mostly do stuff out at Elevate, and I, I never would have thought that I would enjoy my like first and second grade classes and all that stuff, but I really do. I play a lot more fun games, and I'm a little more comical with them, and kind of, for me, I tone it down a notch. I still make we still run if we're walking, that doesn't
Right.
fly. I'm actually this winter, I have a daughter that's getting ready to turn 4, and she's telling all of her friends that I'm going to coach a basketball class for her age. So I'm gonna try like a 4 or 5-year-old
I
class.
got one for you. I got
Do you?
one for
Bring her,
you.
bring her. I'm gonna try it.
She's ready.
I'm gonna try it. I go to all these like,
Yes.
story times at the library and gymnastics
Okay,
classes with them, and I'm
see?
like, okay, but
This
are they
is a
gonna?
good
They
time.
gotta listen though. They gotta stand on a dot. They gotta be quiet.
Yes.
Okay.
So
Yeah.
I'm more nervous about that.
Like where you
Right.
going? There's no
Right.
potty time.
But no, I mean just structure and discipline, and
Yeah,
I think it's healthy. I think we can
I think
teach
it
kids
is,
so much
because
through sports.
I've watched young girls now, and like even in dance class or so,
Mhm.
and they really are different. They
Mhm.
listen.
They do.
Stand there
Yep.
and they participate, and they do what they're supposed to do. And
You know what I really truly notice, and I work with on average about 200 to 400 players a month, depending on the month, and how many nights I'm doing training. Like last night I did training. I had 50 different kids in the gym in different
Mhm.
classes, so it's
Mhm.
more like a team practice setting. Most of what I do now, and I do some private one-on-ones, but I only do that really with a more elite player at this point. But it's funny to me because they're all different, and I tell them all, look, I'm going to rotate through all of you tonight. You're coming in for an hour. You're going to get this. You're going to go home. I'm the fixer. My job is
Yeah.
supposed to try to. I'm supposed to, hey, go up off of your, use your left foot there. Use your
Mhm.
right hand on that. Bounce past that. So I'm going to kind of try to fix everything. You got to respond, be coachable, listen, and put it all together at a fast
Yes.
pace. And I really do think that if we teach younger kids how to do that,
Yes.
Yes.
then they
They'll
can. And
do it
again, not
right
just
from the
respond to me,
beginning.
but right. I
Right.
mean, I think if they
It's
know what they're
easier.
held to and the standards, being accountable, and I just hold them accountable. So if we walk, we run. It's real simple. They don't walk anymore. So
Right.
it usually
They
works
learn
out.
fast.
They do.
Yeah,
They do.
they do.
They do. But you know what I found is they actually really like it. Like I
Yeah.
can't tell you how many of the dads come up to me because it's mostly a lot of boys in some of those training
Yeah.
classes, and the dads come in and they sign up for it. They know it's going to be me, and
Mhm.
they're like, "This was great. This was so intense. And I love how hard you are on them, and you're pushing
Yeah.
them, and you're
Mhm.
challenging them, but you support them, and you're telling them what to
Yes.
do, and
Right.
what to do to fix it.
Mhm.
Yes.
Which is not just yelling at them, but
Yes.
helping them with the
They
solution.
need to
And
know what the
Right.
I love it. I love it.
Not, you did it wrong.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No, right. Yeah. And I can do that every now and again, but I try to always tell them, look, I'm going to offer you a solution. We got to
Right.
tell you what to do,
Yes.
But no, I do enjoy it. And I do like my guys' classes. So A little nervous about the 4 and 5-year-olds, but I'll figure it out.
I would be too, because I have one, so I know. She's going to her first camp next week. We'll see how
Is
this
she?
works. Yes.
How many hours?
It's 3. The next
Okay.
level is the
Oh, she's
4.
going to the next level.
We're going to
Okay.
see, because Gloria probably
Oh,
called me
your
on the
sister will
first
be
day.
there.
Huh?
I mean, her sister will be there.
They'll be gone. She's going to
Oh, that's
Indianapolis
right,
next week,
that's
so
right,
she'll be there the
that's
first
right.
day, and then she's
Okay.
gone. So hopefully the
I was
first
gonna
day she
say,
get her
Leah'll be
acclimated.
there, but I don't mean anything.
No, not with Simone. So
Everybody
Right.
tells me it's going to be like herding cats. That's like what they keep
it
telling me.
is.
But
It is.
you know, I've done the little soccer shots and some of those things with my kids, and you know, and so I've come up with a couple songs. I do have a 2-year-old, and so I'm like, all right, the next step would be, I guess, 2s and 3s. So
You got 2 and 4.
I have 2-year-old and one getting ready to turn 4. So
Oh wow.
But I think
Yep.
they listen more. They seem to take things easier than some of the teenagers.
Mhm.
So I know watching
oh yes,
my daughter, because she plays basketball and she cheers, but I went to her cheerleading practice, then I went to the 4-year-old cheerleading practice.
Right.
And sometimes their attention span is a little bit shorter, but it seems like they pay attention more and they take it in without anything to give you back. Like they don't have anything to say back.
most
So,
of the time.
yeah.
Yes, most of the time.
most of the
Yes,
time. I'm gonna say
because they don't have the questions. Right
Yeah.
now
Right.
is, what do you want me to do?
They're trying to
I'm
take
going
the
do
information.
Well, they
it.
don't know they're allowed to say something bad.
Yeah.
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 But when they figure that out,
Yeah.
then
Right.
it becomes a
Let me
different
try to
story.
divide it.
Right?
See how it
Yeah.
works.
Like, why am I doing this? No, just do it.
Yep, because I said so.
Right.
Okay.
Yes, and that's the response.
No.
That works.
So
So
Yep.
you are with Sports City U.
Sports City U. I do that for AU. I also evaluate for Blue Star Media,
Mhm.
which is a national scouting service. And what's unique about it, and why I guess I said yes to do it. My buddy who actually runs it, Chris Minning, he's been running it for a long, long time, and he recruited in college, and that's how I know him. And basically, has like 30 of us, and we all go around the country watching
Right.
tournaments. So when we actually, you know, we report, we have media stuff that goes out that the parents and family see. So there's never anything bad in that. You know,
Mhm.
like it's always good stuff that those players can do.
Yeah.
But then we also turn in our notes where we are supposed to talk about areas they can improve and weaknesses, so the college coaches can really get a good feel
what
of
they're
this
getting.
player.
Right.
And I guess what I love about it is they, you know, we all rate them and then they take a combined rating. So it's not just my opinion about this young lady. You know, there might be 5 or 6 of us that saw her, you know, within a 2-week period. And so you're seeing a mix of what we all thought. And most of us are former college players and coaches. So it's pretty good. So I enjoy it.
Yes.
I also evaluate for OGBR now as well. So give them a shout out. They've got their camps coming up
Yes.
that I think are getting ready to sell out.
OGBR.
Yes.
Yeah.
OGBR, Ohio Girls Basketball Report. It's the best in Ohio. And I mean, just it's something I recruited hard. You know, it's been around for 17 years.
Mhm.
Yes.
Tom Jenkins ran it for a long time, and
Mhm.
Tanisha Benson and Bryce McKee just took over a year ago,
Oh,
and
yeah.
we're doing a great job. So
So we need to get
I
the
know
rest of the
Tanisha's
staff on.
been in. She told me that she's been with OGBR since she was 14.
Benson, oh yeah,
Okay.
yep, she sure was.
So
So
she started by being an athlete,
yep,
and she just said it has really taken her, you know, a long way. She said you just wouldn't
you know what?
believe where it's taken
As a
her.
college scout, when you're sitting over there and watching them, especially like the skills sessions and stuff, you know, they're not just coming in and playing games. You know, you're
Right.
seeing can
Mhm.
they learn and how quick do they
Yes.
learn and
Right.
catch on to
Yes,
being
that's
coached by a new
lot.
coach.
Can
And
you be coached?
yep.
And can you pick up on plays?
Right.
Can you do that? Yeah.
Absolutely. Yep. And so evaluators, they come and they spend the whole day and they do it a little different. It's, you know, they have like a great hospitality room and they try to keep all the coaches in the building all day. And it's a pretty neat experience if you
Yes.
haven't experienced it.
Mhm.
And for players, if I get people that ask me all the time, how do I get invited? You have to be invited. So you need a high school or an AU coach or a club coach or a trainer. Somebody needs to recommend you and get you an
Right.
invitation. So
Right.
Start
guess-
working on that, coach, ladies.
send me a Twitter,
Yes.
I guess, send me a message if there is anybody young out there that's never been.
Yes.
I can try to help you with that.
And give them the ages for each. What's the ages?
Next week, the young ones are playing on July 5th, and then the older group is playing on the 6th. So it's, oh gosh, this summer, what is it? The 18s and 19s on the
Mhm.
6th, and then the
Mhm.
20s and 21s that's the graduation year. So like
Mhm.
2021, 2020 on the 5th. So they do have a few younger ones sometimes, 2022s. We've got a few good ones in Ohio coming up.
Oh yes.
Couple real good ones in that class.
Yes.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
youngsters.
Definitely.
Yep.
Definitely.
Yep.
Yes.
But, you know, all the
Those
big
ones are
time
starting.
schools will be there, you know, and
Oh, yeah.
a lot of head coaches come and watch, and it's pretty cool.
And that makes a difference.
It
when
does.
The head coach comes.
It
in.
does.
That is a different the head coach.
Well,
Yes.
they're making the decision. You know?
Right, they make the final choice.
Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Oh, I
They
like
are.
her. I
And
like
that's
to
who
get
you
her.
want to deal with, and that's what we talked about on one of our shows.
Uh-huh.
Is that a lot of times kids will be dealing with the assistants, not taking anything away from them, but sometimes you may like the assistant or the assistant may like you, but then you go to try to fit in with the head coach and you've never met him
Mm-hmm.
or her.
Most
And
definitely,
you know,
you need to be talking to the head coach, and in all
Right.
reality, it is extremely hard for the head coach to talk to everyone every week on their
Right.
weekly phone calls and some of that stuff. So, and I was the recruiting coordinator when I was at West Virginia, so we broke it up and we tried to rotate our top list with our head coach. So, when you're making those calls, or throw them on the phone. So I, as an assistant, if the three of us were assistants, we would each have a group that is our
Right.
recruit.
Mm-hmm.
And then our job is to also make sure the head coach is really interacting with them as well. So definitely don't want to discount those assistant coaches
oh, yeah.
that are
Right.
doing their jobs.
Right.
But the head coach is the one that's going to be there and
That's
you're going to
say
be playing
yes
for.
or no.
They
Right.
control scholarships and they control playing time.
Exactly.
So-
Right.
Most
Yeah.
important.
That's the important part.
And then
Yep.
sometimes,
Get to know
you
'em.
I've seen, where assistants, well, even head coaches, but sometimes the assistants seem like they move around a little bit more than the head coach.
Absolutely.
And then they're gone and you're going to the school for them because the assistant
Because the assistant
was
recruited you.
the one
Right.
you talk to every week.
Right.
Mhm.
And we used to talk about this in our staff as an assistant coach. Our job was to sell the university, sell my
Yes.
head coach, and make sure they
Right.
had a really good
Massive.
experience in the team.
Yes.
Right.
Because you're right. If you're an ambitious assistant coach, like I wanted to be a head coach one day. And
Right.
if you haven't a good opportunity, you've got to take it,
Yes.
and players do need to understand that
Mhm.
you really need to have a good rapport with that head coach. That is
Definitely.
extremely important.
That's
So,
important.
yep,
Mhm.
because they're staying usually.
Right.
And if
And
they're
a lot
not,
of
then-
times, like you said, assistant coaches, they move mainly to get
They
ahead.
have to,
coaching
it's a
job.
career, correct?
Right.
Yep.
Everyone's moving around to get
Right.
to
Moving
Right.
around.
But
It's-
I love that good relationship with an assistant coach
Yeah.
though, because they need that person that isn't the one controlling the playing
Right.
time that they can
Right.
go to on the side and
say,
Mhm.
this
be
is
that
what's
supporter.
going on.
Yeah. So just the vibe of it,
Just
the whole staff
everyone.
and feeling good with them all.
Yeah.
It's important. So
Yeah.
really important.
So, speaking about the recruiting and situation like that, what do you say as far as we were talking to another coach, and she was saying for some of the players that are being offered Division II scholarships, and that's who's been targeting you for pretty much your career, and then a P5 or a Division I school comes to you late in the season of your senior year and offers you, are you you're more of a practice player is what they were saying?
I think it can be situational. So let me just say that because what were there 50 something new Division I coaches this last year?
Right.
Mhm.
If you have a new coach come in and all of a sudden they need 5 or 6 players, there could be a chance you could go in, and I've seen that happen where you could go in at the last minute, jump on board, and be way more than a practice player because
Right.
that new coach needs all of a sudden their players.
Right.
I've normally seen it the other way, as you described. We're going to bring you in, we're going to develop you, we're going to work with you for 2 years and kind of see where you're at. You got to be careful with that.
Yes.
I coached Division II, and I went after Division I players, lower level tier players, and I made a killing on that. I mean, that's why we won, and we did win Conference 2 years ago,
Right.
went to Sweet 16 because we got, I guess, quote unquote, Division I level players, but they were just getting overlooked or passed by.
Mhm.
I'm a big fan of go where you're going to get a scholarship, go where you're going to be happy, go where you're going to play.
Right. That's the thing.
Most players are too competitive to sit on the bench for 2 years.
Yes.
Mhm.
And I think one of the
we had the
tough-
transfers. We
yeah,
talked about the
too many.
transfers.
I think one of the toughest questions to ask, and I think you have to ask it as a recruit when you're on campus, and you have to ask the head coach, is what is your role for me? What do you see my role being
Yes,
here?
exactly.
And not just my
Right.
freshman year. What do you see my role being? And
Right.
then what are my weaknesses? Because
Right.
everybody, as a recruiter, your job. I mean, you're a salesperson, and
Yes.
you're
Exactly.
going to put your best foot forward. And I did it, and I was good at it. And I think there's great coaches out there, and that's their job. But they're going to tell you all the wonderful things that you're doing, and I think it's important to hear from them. What should I still be working on, right?
Right.
Because then you'll have an idea of,
Especially if you're not playing and you're wondering why.
Right. You know, and they should, you know, they'll tell you, usually the
Yes.
good ones, they'll tell you a couple things to work on, but you'll have an idea, are you going to be a key player coming in, or am I, as you said,
Right.
I'm
Maybe
coming in because I
somebody
look like I
else.
have a lot of potential, but I just need to
Yes.
be
I need
developed, you know?
Yes.
So I guess most of the time, stay with D2.
Go with who wants you.
Go with who
Yeah,
wants
well,
you
if they,
more.
you're saying at the very
Right.
end, somebody jumped in and
Yeah.
Right.
you've been on this track for 2 years, Division II, that's tough because you know, you could also go for it. I know somebody that did it a year ago and they went for it and they took it and then they ended up, you know, back home a year
Transferring.
later. Yep,
Yeah.
Division II.
Mhm.
It happens a lot.
And there's nothing wrong with it.
Absolutely not.
It's a
It's
scholarship.
money.
It's the money
You know,
you pay
Pay
for
for your
it.
You get to
college.
play.
And did you guys talk about the scholarships for Division II and how they do them? Because you get to pick in Division II. So, you know, I can give you $500 dollars, that is, for the year, or I could give you $18,000. I could pay for your whole ride, or I can
Mhm.
break it up. So
Mhm.
I would say the other question is, what are they offering? You know, are they offering everything? Because that's a
Yes.
good
Right.
situation.
Yes.
You know,
Right.
so
Yes. And that's what, you know, because I heard people saying, you know, it's year to year.
oh, it's
You know,
always
and
your
a lot of
yep.
it's just year to year.
Yep.
We're gonna give you a scholarship.
Technically, they cannot
even when
cut
they
you for
say a
your
full ride.
ability. Right.
Right.
Right. I mean, it's got to be something like attitude or not working hard or
Yeah.
not attending school or
Oh,
class
yeah.
or, you know,
Something
it's got to be
else, yeah.
academics.
Or
Yeah.
eligible because
Yeah.
you didn't go to class.
Yeah. But most players that don't play like they want to play end up transferring. And I
Yes.
do agree.
We see a lot.
We need to do our homework a little better. You know,
Check.
Exactly.
Mhm.
go to a
That's what we
practice,
said.
go to a game, you know, go
You gotta
show up
watch
to
how they
campus.
play.
Watch the
Yep.
style of play or
That's-
watch your position. That's what I was saying
Thank
to
you.
my daughter. You
Yep.
watch what your position as a point guard. If you want to run, you know what I'm saying, have more freedom to run, you need to see what's going on. Or
Does
is
the
it
system
some
fit
mess-
you?
Yes,
Because
that's
they won't
exactly it.
change
Not
their
only
Because their
that.
system is their system. That's exactly it.
And then not only that, the other thing is, who else are you recruiting?
Yep.
Right. Who's
Right.
coming in with
Because a
you?
lot of people don't ask that question, and then they come in and you know, the person that came in plays your position, and they just as good as you, and it's a battle now, you know, for who's playing.
Right.
Right.
And so,
Or sitting behind somebody that was
Yeah.
maybe a really good freshman.
or
Yep.
someone that's already there, you
Yep.
know, like, you know, just to talk about, you know, a lot of the transfers and things that I've heard about, you know, people want to OSU with Kelsey. Kelsey is just she's just that player that is in a league of her own. You know, it's hard. A lot of girls graduating and, you know, they were the best wherever they was at. And then you come and you play with somebody who is in the league of their own right now, and they've already been there for so many years. And, you know, you want to play right now. And so it
Yep.
becomes, well, do
Do
you
I
want to
wanna play
wait
or
or do you
yeah.
want to move?
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so,
You know, I think it's about 4 years and having a good experience, and really you're getting ready for life. You know,
Exactly.
And your
and most
education.
are not going to
Getting
be
an
playing
education.
after college.
right.
You know, so I agree. And if playing time is that important, then you need to look at that coming
You have to
into
make
it.
that decision, right?
Yeah, and people shoot a little too high sometimes.
Yes, they
Mhm.
do.
Social media has kind of gotten out of control with that.
It is.
It is.
Personally,
it
it's-
drives me out of my
I'm
mind.
going D1 too. I'm
Right.
D1. We're all going D1.
You know,
Right.
I hear a lot of college coaches and the chatter, you know, and it's
Yeah.
kind of like, you know, why are you posting who's offering you? And I'm not knocking anybody for doing it, but it's more about, I think more it's okay. Well, where are you going to go? You know, so
That's what I said too. That's
Yeah.
exactly what I said. It's more where you're
wait till
committed
you're
to.
inside, but
Yeah.
you know, or the people that are, I'm being recruited by here and here and here, and then I ask them, okay, well, what did they send you? How many times have you visited?
Talk to
I
them.
mean, and it's a generic
What you
letter
do.
that's going out. You know,
Exactly.
yeah, yeah.
Exactly.
Right,
Right,
right.
so it's a generic
That
letter
North
that's
Carolina
going
one
out.
that
Oh.
everybody
it just
got.
went to 1,000 kids. You know,
That
Hey, North
and-
Carolina,
Talk
like
about
that.
Right.
North Carolina.
Right, so-
Everybody
Have you seen that
posted
letter?
Have you seen the one from North Carolina yet?
Everybody posted it. Like, oh,
That-
My
there's-
daughter had me
there's
cracking
there's no knock on it, but I
Yes.
think a lot of kids.
I mean, that's
are-
what college coaches have been doing for 20 years, though. It's
Right.
a job.
And
but,
Yeah.
but I think the younger parents that have the younger girls that are just now coming up,
Right.
when they get that letter,
Oh, it's exciting.
especially like
Yep.
6th, 7th, 8th grade,
then they're just
it's like, oh wow, you know,
I won't even say
but it's
that.
about camp.
It's
And
a,
they want you to come to camp.
Well, they just
want
ask you to
pay
come-
for camp.
they want exactly. They want you to come pay for camp. That's what my
Right.
daughter was saying.
Yes.
Because another one of her friends told her about it. She was like, "I've been getting that letter since about 8th grade from North Carolina." Like,
Yes.
so she was like,
It's
"Just
a great
relax.
camp.
It's a great camp." She was like,
Yes,
"But
it is a great camp.
I said, but it's not necessarily
I went to camp
saying."
there. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good camp.
See how long?
I know it's a long time.
Right.
Yeah.
Hey, that was yesterday.
But the thing is like, after you start listening, it's like everybody in the city who played AAU almost this year
They did.
get that letter.
You know, we get it from a lot because what happens is your name goes on a list. Is this the computer down? I don't know. They can probably still hear us, but it's not moving. Your name goes on a list when you register for these tournaments,
Right.
Uh-huh.
and they get a list. The college coaches, they go, they purchase the team
packet, yeah.
information,
Uh-huh.
and they send everybody.
but-
It's a
Everybody
Honestly
just push a button
though,
in the mailer.
and just
mailer.
to as a college coach, if I have 50 girls I'm looking at in the 2019 class, I hope they want to come to elite camp because I want to
Right.
see them go against each other. I want to
Yes.
see them meet each
And
other.
see-
Right.
I want to
Right.
see. I want to see the
Right.
coachability factor, because I get to actually work with them, talk to again as a college coach. That is your chance to truly interact with them in a way that is. I mean, you can't do that sitting and watching.
Right.
I can do this drill with you. Okay, let me see how well you can catch on.
Right.
Go.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
And do we mesh? Do you
Yes.
mesh with me, and do I mesh with you?
Mhm.
And so I highly
It
encourage you,
matters.
go to those camps if you're
Definitely
really
does.
interested,
I see.
and if you think they're really interested in
You
you.
think it's
know?
a real possibility.
Right,
Yeah.
right. And again, that's where
Or
you
just go to get better.
go to get better. Yep, go to get better.
Yes.
And
See how you do.
I agree. I think a lot of parents should look into going to elite camps because
Mhm.
one, you have that coach's full attention,
Mm-hmm.
and
Yeah,
you're on display.
AAU,
Yeah.
that's great too. But at some AAU events, like you said, some coaches
Yeah.
are coming just to see one or two specific players that are in
Well,
that tournament.
If you're a good player for AU, they're going to run every single play for you. So every time you touch the ball, you're going to get a screen, you're going to get this, and then all of a sudden you go to camp, and now you're just thrown in with everybody else. There's no plays. You know what I mean?
There's
It's
nothing
just
set
It's
for
just
you.
what
now
Yeah.
let's see how
do.
good you
Let's
are.
see how
You know?
play.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and
Right.
I enjoy that about that experience of it. Now, what I don't enjoy is a kid that isn't that level at all, thinking that now I'm being recruited,
Yeah.
and I think that's just on our part.
And that
Hey,
baby,
JB.
and that
I
baby,
think that's just on our part to help educate them on that.
Right.
And I think sometimes if kids receive some of those letters and accolades too early, it kind of shuts them down as far as them
They-
trying to better themselves. in the
Right.
game.
Right. They think they're
They
already
think
there. They already
yes,
got
like
there.
all
Yeah.
they, these people are gonna
Like I'm on the radar, so
Right.
everybody's gonna, everybody's
go
gonna look-
anywhere else.
And that's what the last stay humble. Stay humble. You train every
Have
day.
to.
Yes.
Either you're
Sit
getting
down.
better
Have to
or
stay
somebody else
humble.
is getting better.
You
Go
have
get
to
better.
Exactly.
stay humble.
Yep.
You have to keep working.
Yep.
And even after you commit,
Yes,
you have to
absolutely.
still
Have to
keep
keep
working.
working.
You can't
Absolutely.
just say, "Well, I'm done now."
No, you're
Yeah.
not, because now you're
So-
fighting for playing time as a freshman. You know?
That's
Yes.
right. They're still
Yeah.
watching you.
Yep.
Right. And if you haven't signed on that line, it could easily be taken away too. So
And it's okay not to come in and start as a freshman.
Yes, it is.
Yes,
it is. It is.
it sure
Just
is.
have to put some work in.
Yeah.
I mean,
Mhm.
it's just like high school. A lot of freshmen start off not receiving a lot of minutes in high school, and by the end of the season, you're splitting time with the starter,
Mm-hmm.
or you may even be the one finishing the game. So it's the same with college. It's just about how you put in your work in practice and getting better and better. So
Yes.
we encourage all you young incoming freshmen, high school, college, just to keep working, because
Yes.
it's not going to just be an easy route because
It's
you
a lot of
received
talent.
a letter
a lot
or
of talent,
anything like that. But yeah, definitely that.
and sometimes it's not even just more so the talent. It's like we talked about fitting in with the team.
And campus and school, because at the end of the day, if you don't play that much your freshman year, and then you wake up the next morning, you go to class, and you're excited about what you're learning and studying, and what I mean, then you realize you're okay. I'm going to be working towards this with
Right.
basketball, but this is still a great decision, and I love where I am. But if you don't
And that
love
makes
where
a
you are
difference.
and you're not
Yeah.
playing, then it
Right.
gets
That
difficult.
changes
It
it.
changes everything. Yeah,
Mhm.
Yes.
love where you are.
So do your homework early.
hmm
Enjoy the whole experience, not just the basketball side of college.
That's
Yeah.
right.
Yep.
That's great.
All right.
Man. Well, we thank you for coming on, and we look forward to bringing you back.
especially as the seasons go after summer.
And when you get that
4-year-olds
coaching job,
Yeah.
and you're gonna coach against the Northland coach JB.
and listen, for all the
Looking for
ADs
her.
and
A
coaches
team.
that are watching.
Cindy's open. She's
And
open.
just want to send Cindy their invitation resumes.
Yes. And you
Please
want her.
mention that you remember hearing this from 94 Feet and Beyond. That's where her coaching here started.
You guys are my agents now.
We are.
Right.
So
Make sure you let me know about
We're gonna
that
be
4 and
sending you
5
some
year old.
tweets and
I will.
things.
I got a 4-year-old.
I will.
So.
I'm excited about it. I'm trying to decide how many could I put in the class and still have control.
Not too many though. I always like, oh, you can't do too many.
Probably,
About 10.
10.
Yeah.
About 10.
I'm real good with like 16 to 20, older kids by
Yeah,
myself.
but I think
Yeah,
about
but-
10.
Yep.
About
Oh yeah.
10.
No, I'm not
About
gonna go
10.
past 10. Yeah.
Maybe 8.
Yeah.
Which means nobody's just standing around watching.
Oh no,
They have to
they're
be
doing.
busy at all
Oh,
times.
that's very, very important.
'Cause
Everybody's
my-
got to be doing it.
Yeah.
At 4 and 5.
Yep.
Mm.
Yep. A lot of standing. I've made up a few songs. I'm gonna see how. I'm gonna check out my mom's skills because that's what it's gonna be.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
But thank you so much for having me. It was really
We're so
great
glad to have
being
you.
on.
All right, guys.
Yes,
we'll take
thank you so much.
We'll have to take a 5-minute break and we'll be back with JB.
All right.
Baby, y'all in my What's the flavor? What's the flavor? What's the flavor? What's the flavor? Cup watching you a peeping time. Nosy neighbor, nosy neighbor. What's the flavor? What's the flavor? What's the flavor? What's the flavor? Cup watching you a peeping time. Nosy neighbor, nosy neighbor. Baby, y'all in my Kool-Aid, in my Kool-Aid, and then help me stir it. Baby, y'all in my Kool-Aid, in my Kool-Aid, and then help me stir it. Baby, y'all in my Kool-Aid, in my Kool-Aid, and then help me stir it. Baby, y'all in my Kool-Aid, in my Kool-Aid, yeah, they be all in my circle. Why you always in the mix with it? And you ain't help me mix, did you? My table is full, can't eat with you fools. Now you can't even sit with us, let alone have a sit with us. Now you can't even hit this one. Simple and plain, can tell by your frame that you don't get a big picture. That boy that he a soft drink. That mean they got some with them. Listen, this a A and B conversation. See they all on my D in my conversation. Pockets on E, F that. Me against you, that's a mismatch. Get a disrespect, I'm a lit match. Game is so I treat it like it's pit pack. Baby, y'all in my Kool-Aid, in my Kool-Aid, and then help me stir it. Baby, y'all in my Kool-Aid, in my Kool-Aid, and then help me stir it. Baby, y'all in my Kool-Aid, in my Kool-Aid, and then help me stir it. Baby, y'all in my Kool-Aid, in my Kool-Aid, yeah, they be all in my circle. You must got me mixed up. Wait, it must be a mix up. She said I'm a stiff drink. And well, you a mix one. I'm the type to mix business with pleasure. I love getting money. We just go together. My homeboy, he got a dope wrist. Your girlfriend, we call her Blowfish. Since you all in my fridge, I ain't lost the intro. All at your crib and I do it again. Boy, I don't play. Let's I play to win. I hit your girl once and I'm gone in the win. You thirsty, boy, come up. Want anybody why you show up? Boy, why you show up? Oh, you want a taste of the good life? Somebody tell that boy to grow up, grow up. Baby, y'all in my Kool-Aid, in my Kool-Aid, and then help me stir it. Baby, y'all in my Kool-Aid, in my Kool-Aid, and then help me stir it. Baby, y'all in my Kool-Aid, in my Kool-Aid, and then help me stir it. Baby, y'all in my Kool-Aid, in my Kool-Aid, yeah, they be all in my circle. Baby, y'all in my mix, all in my mix, all in my mix. Baby, y'all in my mix, all in my mix, all in my mix. Baby, y'all in my kitchen, I mean in my business. They say that they hungry, but won't do the dishes. Don't pay them no mind, don't pay them no dishes. Good, pay me to pay them for business. Baby, y'all in my mix, all in my kitchen. Baby, y'all in my mix. Baby, y'all in my mix. Run, run, run. Run, run, run. Run, run, run. Run, run, run. And you don't run nothing. in second place. They don't run it, nah. And they ain't running, nah. And you don't run nothing, you just bumping guns. Yeah, I run it like I'm in a race. You ain't nothing, you ain't first or last. Whoever dreamed to be in second place, they don't run it, nah. And they ain't running, nah. Shawty just won't leave my crib, so I call her a runaway. Look, give me a pack, tell me why would I run away? Quarterback sneak, get it gone in the blink, and I call for another play. He called me the running back, hand it out, and it's on the lay. Run it like Tubby, I give them more run for their money. I run it like Usain Bolt, yeah baby they're running. Run it like I'm the CEO. Wait, I am the CEO. I call it a hit and run, cause I hit it and baby I got to go. I might run away with it, if you take it there, like away we go. Here first time I'm running through it, here first and I'm running through it. Since the sign knows I've been running, you just run the track, you ain't running nothing. My young boys like the running gun, my whole team ballin', ain't no one-on-one. You just bumping guns, yeah I run it like I'm in a race. You ain't nothing, you ain't fresh at last. Whoever dreamed to be in second place, they don't run it, nah. And they ain't running, nah. And you don't run nothing, you just bumping guns. Yeah, I run it like I'm in a race. You ain't nothing, you ain't first or last. Whoever dreamed to be in second place, they don't run it, nah. And they ain't running, nah. Shot it man like I gave her the runaround, but really I had to run around. Can't be no runner up. So I get it in and I run it up. Look, sorry I'm late. I was running behind all this cake. Can't take a break, that's some feet in my face. Don't talk me in circles, you wizard, you ain't. What can I say? I gotta be frank, cause that's all I want in the bank. And to get it, I only see one way. Run it like I'm in a foot race. Run it like police done gave chase. The airplane ain't gon' tell them runway. I step out the house and treat the tractor like my runway. Like I gave it away. Run through a check, I get paid every day. Run through a cookie, she running away. He running in circles, that's running in place. Tell him you don't run nothing, you just bumping guns. Yeah, I run it like I'm in a race. You ain't nothing, you ain't fresh at last. Whoever drink
DFB beats.
Yeah, all work, no play, boy. Now that I'm booming, yeah. All I know is money. 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 So ATM, or did it to the money. I'm so ATM, I'm so ATM, and I be feeling fucked. Yeah, I can't help myself. So ATM, addicted to the money. I'm so ATM, I'm so ATM, and I be feeling fucked. Yeah, I can't help myself. Being ATM, that my MO. I was going through withdrawing, I was burning. Now I'm booming stupid. That money calling, it just be calling me. It do. Like I'm Pookie, I'm so addicted to it. I can't live without it. Like Master P with my cheese, cause they know I'm body. And I be salad dressing, lettuce falling on my pockets. Paper cuts all on my thighs, all I make is deposits. So ATM, or did it to the money. I'm so ATM, so ATM. I'm so ATM, and I be feeling fucked. Yeah, I can't help myself. So ATM. So ATM, addicted to the money. I'm so ATM, so ATM. I'm so ATM, and I be feeling fucked. Yeah, I can't help myself. All I know is this paper. If I don't know nothing else, I've been down before, but now I'm top shelf and this cash all in no credit check. Look, all I know is these haters. Better wake up. I know some broke comments that'll ride on you for the low. Like a mega bus, I need my paper straight on the paper plate, cause it's half full of my paper cup and my elevator keep going up. I'm prepped time, so don't interrupt. My girl say she need a bag. That's a pocketbook, a couple bands in my pants. I told her, look, girl, that's a pocketbook. Money. If I don't know about nothing, I know money. If I don't know about nothing, I know money. If I don't know about nothing, they looking stupid. If I don't know about nothing, man. Trust me, I know about money. I know money. So ATM. So ATM, or did it to the money. I'm so ATM, so ATM. I'm so ATM, and I be feeding for them. Yeah, I can't help myself. So ATM, so ATM, or did it to the money. I'm so ATM, so ATM. I'm so ATM, and I be feeding for them. Yeah, I can't help myself. I'm feeding for that money, crazy.
94 feet and beyond. We back. We're back in the building with Northland's new head coach. I think y'all all know him. He been there a couple times. JB. Welcome back. He's like the new member now. Like we just need to add you on in.
The honorary member.
He's like here all the time.
I'll be shaking your
Yeah. you part of the crew now.
You might as well put me on the wall of fame or something.
You keep the streets talking. You keep the streets talking. So that's why you're here. So
900,000 people. 900,000. It should have been up on the good.
As soon as you found out that the Northland coach, you got it. It went poof around the city. Like
the Goodwill Blend was out there. JB is the new Northland coach.
I don't know how many times I got text like, did you hear that? Did you hear that?
I seen it on CNN.
JB
as a matter of fact, it was breaking news. Breaking news.
They interrupted Trump's speech.
They did.
Excuse me.
Did you hear? We gotta stop this. Right.
Like I said on an Amber Alert.
That's probably where it was an Amber Alert.
That's what it was. It was the way it went through.
All the texts that you got when you was at my house. You was like, I got like 20 messages right now.
Yeah, it was just congratulations. That's all.
But I know, but how everybody knew in 5 minutes, like 5 minutes before.
Probably
like 5 minutes after, like soon as you knew.
Probably y'all.
No, it wasn't us. Because I didn't even know.
No, it was another person here. He didn't come today.
But no, he
didn't know either. Yeah,
he didn't know before we knew.
Ron Best, who the one who made the picture for Facebook.
I know,
but that was after it was already out.
Because remember when you was at the house, and I was like, Ron sent the message, and he's saying what?
Yeah.
Oh, man, I talked to you. No. I don't know how I got up that quick. Well,
good news.
I heard there was rumors out there anyway.
It was.
It was a
little rumors.
So was that
right. Let's talk about since a couple.
So were you looking for a high school coach, or they come looking for you? How was that?
It's a situation where I don't know. It was just I'm good friends with the AD, Mr. Bowles, and we always just talk as friends. We never talked about coaching nowhere or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
And then when the position came open, he just gave me a holler. I was like, hey man, the Northland position open. Would you be interested in applying? And I was like, I don't know. Nah, I'm good.
You spoke all this in existence last year. Remember on the bus to Virginia?
When he talked about being a high school coach again?
Northland.
Oh, you talked about Northland. Okay.
I was being funny because every time I go to somebody's game, he's you should try to come over here. You might be trying to come coach or something. Like I'm just coming. I do AAU.
Right.
I'm just coming to
right. They just trying to come to the
game. Coming in your game tonight. They say looking at your job.
Right. He say he coming to get your job, not your kid. Right. He ain't recruiting your kid. He recruiting your job.
It was like the NBA, like coach on the hot seat. They see me at the game or something.
Shoot, we got to coach well. We got to win because JB here and they might be trying to get my job.
Right.
That's why the coaches was yelling at their players when they was at the games.
Nah,
they had to turn it up. Yeah.
Nah, it took me a long time to really make that decision. I had to talk to my best friend McKinney, before anything would would go down anyway.
Mm-hmm.
So, you know, we had our conversation, but shoot, he had kind of knew and heard some things himself, you know, from talking to people. And, you know, so, you know, we talked about it. You know, I had talked to some other people, and then I had to just sit down with myself and just think, you know, about, do I really have the time because of my own daughters and what they're doing? And I'm sure not going to take away from them, you know, for something that I want to do, because that would be a selfish act toward them. So I had to just think about things. I just thought about it. And I just said,
So
all right, I'm doing it.
So you excited? Is it?
I'm going to be honest, when I first said I take the job, I wasn't excited.
Okay.
It was just like a job. But when I actually had the opportunity to take the young ladies up to Ohio State teen camp, they made me excited.
Okay,
so
that's
now,
good.
So now I am excited because
the fire
they made me excited.
Yeah.
So,
See,
you know,
that's an impact.
That's good. That is good then.
Yeah.
Build
You know.
relationships.
Yeah, that's my thing with them, is just like,
And watching the girls grow.
I mean, you had a good group anyway. So, you know, to try to get them on your system, I think
it's gonna be okay. I mean, I haven't put anything in. We haven't done nothing. We just do skills and drills. That's about it. Like, obviously today they just have an open gym, just hooping. Like, my kids, we just gym gonna be open. They can hoop. They can work out.
That's good to always have a gym.
Because that's what makes you better when the gym is open. And as long as they are occupying the gym.
Is that going to be every Wednesday open gym?
Is it open for everybody, or you just open for your girls?
No, it's open for everybody.
Anybody that wants some rec in?
Past Northland alum.
Northland has open gym.
Afrocentric, every school in the city,
every
girl to play for all Ohio. The gym is open and hoop.
What about Eastmore? They allowed to come in too?
Yeah, y'all come in. You in the city.
Okay.
Everybody allowed to come hoop.
Is that an open invitation?
Can I hoop too?
Why can I come hoop?
I'm trying to become the next one.
If you're over a certain age, you can't hoop.
What's the age limit? What's the age limit?
Because we don't have any trainers and we don't have cardiac arrest.
What's the age limit? What's the age limit? What's the age limit?
What you trying to say?
If you got a daughter in high school, that's your limit.
What if you had your daughter young? Sure.
Well, hey, then you can come in there. But if you have a young daughter, you can't come in because you got another kid, so you got to make sure you take care of them.
You trying to
I got my shoes in the car.
All right, that's cool. Y'all can come. You know, I got a good conditioning coach, Keith Massey. He do workouts for people all the time, ladies all the time. Y'all come get y'all workout on while your kids getting their ears on.
Right.
So is that an open invitation gym for the OCC too?
Anybody.
So
come get
your work in the gym with Northland.
Northland open gym.
Anytime, man.
What's the times?
Well, I don't know when the next one's gonna be because obviously we about to everybody knows playing summer travel basketball.
July starts up.
It's about to July about to start, but once everything gets back,
we'll have it.
We'll have open gym like in September and all that good stuff. Okay. We'll have it. People make sure they join that All Ohio Fall League. It's gonna be in September. They can get some more hooping in. I mean, and whenever Northland got open gym, man, people are welcome to come. Girls need to have somewhere to go play.
Right.
And Northland can be the place where you can come play.
That's good.
So how was your first week? How did you feel like as your first week in there? How was it?
Oh man, it was cool. It's very I got a lot of energy. Like,
right.
If you really know me and you know how I feel about basketball,
right,
you probably know how my everyday goes. It's all about that, what I can do, figuring them out, preparing my seniors, talking to them, trying to get their portfolios together.
That's good.
To get recruited, to get things done. And
you got a couple of my favorites over there, so I'm glad to see you there with them. With Gina, I love her. So
so I gotta do what I can.
Take care of her.
Yeah, get her right.
Take care of her. The best thing for me to do, by me coming in as a new coach, I told my seniors, don't take JB as, okay, he run all Ohio and he know all these people, so we good. He gonna get my he gonna be in school.
You gotta do your own work.
You gotta do your work.
Now, you gotta do your work and spend that time in there. But also, like I told them, I need to get in contact with your AAU coaches because you have been with them for so many years. I need to piggyback off what they're doing.
Right.
So they need to sit with me so I can piggyback off what they're doing to continue moving on. I can't you know, I don't know what they're doing or what the situation may be. I just don't want all that pressure put on me, like me to come fix whatever.
And 1
I
year,
need to know,
right?
I need to figure out what, you know, the AAU coaches are doing, so I can piggyback off of it. And if I never meet them, that may be telling me they're not doing anything. So that tells me what direction I have to go, you know, with right now my seniors that I have on my team. But as I told them in the meeting, I'm only going to put in as much effort as they put in this gym. So don't think I'm going to give you maximum effort from JB when you're not giving me maximum effort.
Yeah.
Right.
So, you know, it's just to start a new culture over there. You know, I want all the Northlands alums to come to games, come to open gyms, and ex-players.
How's the Northland alum? How are they receiving?
Have you got any responses or any comments?
Yeah, I got a few of them.
You know that.
Like,
A lot of them play for Ohio.
Yeah, a lot of them did play for Ohio, especially alumni. And a lot of the alumni parents played, you know, for Northland was like, you know, thank you for coming, you know, congratulations, and, you know, go Vikings, all that good thing. So, you know, I want to bring a culture around there. I want to bring a buzz for those young ladies that's there to say, like, I'm a Norfolk Viking, and it means a lot to them to be that Norfolk Viking. And the ones who's already passed and gone, so they can rep and say, I'm a Norfolk Viking too. I played there then, I played there. So I want them to be able to yell their name just as loud as other schools around Central Ohio was doing well, yell their names. So, no, that's what I'm definitely doing. So I feel a little tension over here from one of the people.
Yeah, we're going to get to the steak, the meal of this now. So, everybody knows that Northland is a City League team, and you have Afrocentric.
Cross connection. You have a cross connection.
Afrocentric.
You had close connections with them.
But you have close connections, friends, acquaintances, and all that. Parents know you and all of that. Is that a rivalry? Just let's get it out there now.
Right.
Well, I'm gonna tell you who my rival is.
All right, let's go.
Rivals, pay attention.
My rivals is Pick North.
Pick North.
Pick North.
I'm sorry, not Pick North. Pick Central.
Pick Central.
Newark.
Newark.
Reynoldsburg.
Dublin
Kaufman.
Kaufman.
Those was the four that was in the regional finals to go to the state championship.
Afrocentric
Centric is not a rival with me. They Division III. Yeah, we're gonna play each other in the city championship, but our goal over there at the Vikings is to win the state. So there's no way they can be my rival.
Okay.
There we go.
You have it from the
head
coach himself. There's no rival right there.
So don't do it.
So don't make it a rival because
I have to fight everybody, and I will fight
everyone he's looking for.
That ain't what I'm looking for. You know, those
I'm
teams,
looking for the state. Yeah, you're looking for the state.
Those teams are made to Division I regionals. Those are the ones I'm trying to go after to get to because they're the ones on top. So, why not be focused on somebody that I can't even only going to play you once a year and that's it? And the game means okay, you won the city, that's it. But I want to be able to go down on Lane Avenue.
Right.
That's
that's my thing. So those teams are the teams that I have to make a rival or to be successful because those four teams has been there. They've been there.
Avenue.
So I'm trying to get to Audubon and have a 6 or 8 o'clock game on that Friday or Saturday night. That's what I'm trying to do in that regional final. You know, on that Tuesday, and then come back that Saturday. You play for the regional championship. I want to experience that. Me being Afrocentric. Okay, then what happens after that? Season over? No.
It's just get started. Just getting started.
That's not my. That's not my focus. My thing. My focus is Division I, making it to the state.
That's what everybody want to talk about.
Right.
Well, they're gonna do that because of the relationship, the connect.
The connection between you and McKinney. Yeah.
Right. It can't be. And let's say it was Afrocentric was the person you had to beat to get somewhere. Well, obviously they've been winning, so everybody else been losing. So the only way you can have a rival is when you go 50-50. If you down 10 wins or no wins, that ain't no rival.
Right.
That ain't no rival.
Right.
So rival is somebody y'all went up and down.
Back and forth.
And those schools like Pick Central and all them, they're not my rivals. It's just that's where I gotta go for our team to be successful, you got to go through those teams.
For you to consider yourself successful, yes.
Right. I mean, you know, the NBA, you got to go through Cleveland in the East to get to the finals. You got to go through Golden State to get to the finals in the West. You got to know there's somebody there that you have to go through to get there. And Afrocentric is not the path to get there.
So the destination is Lane Avenue.
The destination is Lane Avenue. So
yes,
that's what matters.
Yes,
that is what matters.
That's good to hear because I know that's been a buzz. But when y'all play in the City League Championship, because you already said it. You said y'all playing the City League Championship. So I'm going to go.
I said
there it is. I'm going with what you say. So
who else they got up? Well,
no, they have other teams up north. You got Memphis, you got Northland. You know, you got 7, 8 other teams in the City League.
But if he gonna speak it, he can speak it into existence.
Just
speak it.
I'm a winner. Whenever it's a championship game, I'm gonna say
you said you gonna be there.
My goal is for my girls to be there. My goal is for
you want to get those trophies. You want to get those trophies.
Huh?
You want to get those trophies.
Remember
them trophies that JB owed us from?
Oh, we do. We still owe that. You owe me a trophy. What was that? 5th grade?
Yeah.
We got a T-shirt.
Yes, he said.
I got your trophies at the house.
Trophies at the house.
So where they at? We've been waiting for them. We waiting for them.
It was all a plot because you know what? You know why? Because you went to go get trophies in other tournaments, so you would come back and ask about mine. So I put that hungry in y'all.
I got the picture up here. Yeah, I still got the picture. We was waiting for them trophies to come get them.
He was like, oh, they at the house. I don't know why they sent them to the house.
At the house.
But to answer your question, Afrocentric Northland, if they do meet in the city championship.
All I'm gonna say is y'all not gonna count EA out. I don't care. I'm here. You ain't gonna count EA out. We ain't giving them no city yet. But we'll keep going.
He asked me that.
This ain't no rivalry. We just ain't giving it that. But go ahead.
We're just speaking on
y'all just speak.
We just said
hypothetically when Northland get there. Miss Serena's gonna defend her EA here. So
they defend the city.
We know they've been there. They've been there. We won't ever take that from them.
And they discount us right now too.
But they always discount us. But don't discount EA this year. That's all I got to say.
Well, this is what I'm saying.
I ain't claiming it. I'm just saying don't discount
EA, Afrocentric, whatever whatever letters y'all want to put in, whatever game when we play, man, it's gonna be one of the best games you probably ever gonna see because you're gonna get an opportunity to see 2 teams play hard.
It's true.
And that's what it's about.
That is what it's about.
Leaving it on the floor.
Leave it all on the floor.
So everybody, you'll definitely get the price of admission to see, who's ever in the city championship. Right. A good show.
Get your popcorn ready.
Get it ready. It's gonna be a good city league. I like to see the competition. I like to see that there's gonna be something to watch. Something to put your $5 to come see.
Yeah.
Tuesdays and Friday nighs in the city league.
And check with us on Wednesdays.
Come to Norfolk and see that show. Matinee at 5:30.
It's gonna be good competition. I mean, they put on a good show. The City League schools did a good show at OSU. All 3 of them, so that was there. And not discounting the other teams because OCC is all obviously representing.
It was a lot of good teams out there. The O State.
It was a lot of talent.
It was a lot of talent.
It's
shout out
getting ready, and especially the girls are getting older, and these are the girls that are leading. Were the girls that's been playing for a long time that I've seen on all sides of the city, and so it's going to be interesting.
Because the summer does not tell you what you're going to do when the season gets started. Because everything, because everybody wants to talk about what you did. I've even talked about it, but at the end of the day, when the season it's still a lot of work to do. So.
Because whatever you do in June, they ain't going to remember by October.
By October, everybody forgot about it. Like, what were you doing? Like, what was it?
Because they were trying to take everything away from Afrocentric. I was like, okay, that's okay, and I get it.
But they always, but they act like Eastmore's not even there. So I'm just saying.
Well, they loving Eastmore right now, and they dogging us, but it's okay.
they can put y'all at the city. They put Northland Afrocentric at the city already, and act like we're not even available. Like
they was dogging us even when we was winning, so it don't matter.
They put y'all at the city. Y'all was already at the city.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So
I'm just saying.
Let me ask you this though: you was at the team camp. Who were some of the players that you saw that stuck out to you?
What, at my school?
No, just all around.
I'm gonna be totally honest, man. I was focused on mine.
So for your school,
Yeah.
So you know, as an AAU coach, you gotta ask me that then.
Oh, as
but today
AAU
I'm here.
coach, I thought
She said today he said Northland.
I thought you saw some of it before you had got in there as.
Well, I made a decision on Thursday, and actually the camp started on Friday.
Okay.
And he slid in on Saturday. His team slid in on Saturday.
Yeah, we slid in.
They slid on Saturday.
So who were some of your players that you saw that you may not have?
I seen the best player now. One of the best players in the state, Christian Bell, from Cam McKinley. She's like the LeBron James of this thing. She does it all.
I watched her play.
She makes her team better. She makes her team better. Malia Perry, Pickerton, they team. I mean, the players I already know from the AU. I really didn't stand out. Most of the kids that stood out to me was my own.
Right.
Because I didn't know.
You was getting the feeling what they could do.
I didn't know them. I didn't know any. Like I knew them as whatever.
Just knowing who they were.
But I didn't know how they were as getting them in the gym and putting them in Ohio State and watching them yesterday and just different little things. I got some of them impressed me with their basketball talent and grit and different things. So, and all of them had something special. I'm not gonna say one or this one, that one. They all had something special.
I like that.
Not
to separate the team, because that can happen when you start picking players. You on here talking about them like
because that ain't my job to pick that.
Yeah.
And if everybody does their role on the court, it makes you a better team.
Yeah,
they always depending on one person.
They don't have a choice.
Oh, I know.
Yeah, we know.
I already
got no choice. Now you're gonna play your role.
Oh yeah.
Everybody gonna play their role. I'm gonna play my role as a coach.
Right.
My assistant's gonna play their role, communicating to the players. Yes. The players gonna play their roles, and the parents gonna play theirs.
Right.
So everybody gonna play their role.
Right. Everybody playing their role. Play your roles, and everything will be good.
We gonna be successful. We gonna be successful. They're gonna understand, what it means to be a Lady Viking and how hard is the work to be on that next level, to be
because it ain't like they ain't. The Vikings, they go to the city every year. So and they've been good.
That's not.
I understand what you're saying about the state, but I'm just saying they're not a bad team anyway. They have a reputation of being good. That's what I'm saying.
They made a nice run in the state.
Every year is only four. There's only four good teams every year.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
it's the four that win the state. Everybody else.
Oh yeah,
that's true.
Right.
That's true.
So
right.
At the end
that's
of the
true.
day,
That's
right.
true.
At the end of the day, that's the thing around. Probably a lot of times in the city is that to win the city and we won the city league and that's the most important thing. And I actually heard that. That's not something. And I'm not saying that. I'm saying that even on the boys' side,
right?
Like you hear, you win the city, we won the city, and then you out the tournament in the second and third round. No, I mean. You play this game to be a champion. If you got exactly 3 stages to win. If you win your city, you win the city. If you're in the OCC, you're trying to win your league. And after that, you're trying to win the district. Then you're trying to win the regionals.
Yeah.
Once you get there, then you throw it up in the air because then you're gonna try to win the state. That takes experience.
But so let me ask you about that. So being especially in the city, you have the lottery option and everybody gets to choose where they go. What if when you have teams and you don't have all of the talent, or you don't have all of the people that are that serious about basketball? So there might be one person, 2 people, 3 people that's very serious, and this is something that they want to do. But then you have people that just come out for the team because it's something to do.
And that's an issue with that coach, because if you create a certain culture and environment, when you come in there. It's about that ball. You tell your team, if you ain't here to win a state championship or at least try, then don't be on the team? I ain't gotta tell them. They're teammates and that culture and environment to tell them. I don't have to say anything.
Well, that's what I'm just saying. Because
me verbally telling them, you ain't about that. No. If you ain't about that life, you'll weed yourself out. I ain't gotta tell you nothing. You'll just stop showing up. You'll stop coming around. Right. So those people ain't about that life and about that work, because when you come into Northland High School, you're going to work. So if them other teams that got kids, and, we got to keep this number so they can just play and come, then you get the results that you get.
Right.
So you get the kids you get. So if you ain't about balling. You ain't gotta be the best basketball player. As long as you love basketball and you want to do that work, you're gonna get better. You're gonna be there, and you're gonna be part of something successful. And that's at any level. If you're not about that life, then it's gonna be hard for you, because there's been a lot of great players who just didn't love the game like that, and they just didn't make it where how far maybe you see it or your perception seeing it. They didn't make it that far because maybe that burn wasn't there. So those kids at where I'm going to be at, if you don't love ball like that, you'll fade yourself out. I don't have to say anything.
So what you guys say about people that talk about the recruiting?
I'll put it like this. In everything, they want to talk about recruiting, but it's not. If you're putting in work, people ain't blind. People come to games. They can see what's going on.
They want to play where you at. They want to go where
they're going to see where you at.
Play.
Right. They're going to see where you at. It's not recruiting.
Right.
It's just like anything. When you're applying for a job, first you apply for the job with the highest number. Then you go down further and further till you can get what you got to get. But you won't go to the best first.
Right.
So if I'm standing out, well, shoot, I want to go stand with them. Right. So it's all about that. People follow winners. What I try to,
and I mean,
people follow winners.
Right. And so it's not necessarily like, they always talk about, even when they talk about potential people recruiting, and you see kids moving in every district, moving to go play with somebody else because they want to have a chance to win. And that ain't necessarily the coach recruiting. That's parents and kids going where they want their kids to play.
If everybody's getting a scholarship over there, because that's the ultimate goal anyway.
And it is. But a lot of times the kids, I don't think they're.
But some kids transfer
thinking it like that.
Some kids transfer a move because the coaching ain't right, or
true.
Or some kids, they feel the coaching ain't right. I don't know, but I'm just going about. They say, they looking and reading numbers, or they feel some way. But the recruiting thing, and if you out there working, people gonna come.
Right.
If you ain't working, ain't nobody gonna come. My thing is, somebody say,
just like
somebody
colleges.
Recruiting. I'll just say this, I'm like, okay, well, name me besides obviously where I'm at now. People know me, or Afrocentric or Eastmore. They know who they are. Tell me the other coaches in the league. If other people can't tell you the other coaches in the league,
that's true.
Then people only gonna go where they're familiar with.
That's true. Right. That is true. So that's a true point right there.
It just breaks down. It just breaks down.
Or what's their record, or what they doing. Especially if they're serious about playing their sport. It ain't necessarily just basketball. It's all sports.
And you gotta work. If you don't want to put in that grind to be successful, and you just want somebody to come where you at because you come here and you can start. It's not that. It's that grind. It's that seed. Is that coach gonna have his gym open? Is he gonna take? Is he gonna take personal time to work and develop me to come work with me, come one-on-one? Does this coach make every kid feel like they're part of what's going on, or is it individual? People these coaches have to work, man. This is not. It's just not something going to be given to you. And then if something is given to you and you're not being successful with it, then you helping others because they're going to leave. My thing is, man, don't ask for it. Don't fill up your plate. Then you see you can't eat it because sometimes your eyes is bigger than your stomach.
Right.
So that's what that was.
I have a question then. Why do you think that people talk about the city recruiting more than they talk about the other districts outside, like the in the suburban leagues? What's the difference?
Because they say the people who talking about people recruiting in the city, they don't live here.
Right.
And the people who live in the city talk about the suburbs recruiting there. They don't live out there. So it's just both sides just speaking. That's all it is. Everybody and just the world we in, we may be around a little bit more OCC people than sometimes City League people because obviously sometimes you got more people involved in that. So you just hear it both ways. Because if you close the city down, they'll say, well, Afrocentric, they recruiting and all this. So it just depends on what's going on. So now it's the city and the OCC.
I think too. It's when you in the city league, they say you recruit, but when you play for a suburban school, it's more of an open enrollment.
They moved.
So I think they
moved.
Or they moved.
They moved. That's what you always hear at the OCC. They moved.
It's just different, though. I think that's what it is because since you really don't have a open enrollment as far as city league and people just moving to go to a school that's open enrollment, they look at it as, oh, you recruited that kid because that kid came to your school.
Yeah, but
normally the people that say that you recruited that kid is a coach who ain't doing their job.
Right.
Or that parent who goes to that school and they thought that kid was gonna come there because they friends. There's no more community-based schools. Like if you live in Linden area, you have to go to Linden. If you probably live in Northland, you have to go to Northland. It's not that. It's like open. That. It's free agent.
Yeah.
So
because like Eastmore, you can't get nobody in their home.
You got to work. Yeah. The day is you got to work. And this is my thing. The two schools that's in the city that's been the furthest in the city. After Central been to the state, Eastmore been to the state Final Four. Those two schools are not even open. They lottery schools.
They're lottery.
So how can lottery schools be the best schools when the rest of you are total open enrollment schools? Right. Anybody can go there. So
that's
the thing
true.
is, who's working?
True. That's the facts. Right. Those are facts.
So you gotta look at a list to get in.
Even though we got points for our kids, that's how we got Division I. Even though we lottery, but anyways, I'm like going there.
So that's the thing is that those two schools which are two of the better schools in the city right now that's been to the state. Like you said, they're lottery schools. You got to go fill out paper and hope they get a call.
Right.
In other schools in Columbus,
and you can just
move over there. You can just go over there.
Eastmore's waiting list is 250. 250 right now.
You can do what you want. So my thing is, you gotta put in that work.
It comes down to work.
It comes down to work.
So no more excuses for anything. If your team is not winning and that's where they came there to do, then you gotta work.
It's all about work, man.
Or if your school is not and you don't like it, you always have options. You can
go where you want.
Or you can go to the lottery.
And, you can just do in the city. It's open. It's free agency. So you need to keep it real. They don't like to talk like that, but it is what it is. Free agency.
It is true.
In every sport, football, baseball, basketball, it's free agency. So it's just the people
the best fit.
Just putting in the work. That's all it is. And when two schools that's not even a regular school, so you just can go there, neighborhood school, and they're better schools, and everybody else is open enrollment, then and they're going to say, well, the academics. Well, my thing is, wherever you at, you present, and you as a coach need to research the academics and the avenues that can help that kid academically, what they can do. You got to present something that people know, right? Because everybody, you talk to people, hey, what's up with your academics? I see you in academic emergency. Well, it is an emergency. We got to hurry up and get it better. But, if you look at some of our other kids, they went here, they went there, they went here, they went there. These many kids in this class graduated, went on to college. Because numbers don't tell a lie, but it just don't tell the whole story. So you have to tell people the story, and then they look at the numbers a little bit different than they did before. But that's called work. That means you as a coach have to go research that work.
For a parent.
Right. Yeah, but a lot of times the parent doesn't know the avenues.
They just listening to somebody else.
They don't even know the avenues to go research it. It's on a coach. If you're a school, these are the things that we offer academically. I got to research that. You have to treat, my college coach told me, so you treat everyone like they're dummies. Don't think they know, because they don't know.
That's true.
So you have to research. You have to research what you got to offer to someone.
Right.
If you go by numbers, you're gonna say, well, Studio Eastmore.
You gotta show
Whetstone. You're gonna say, well, Independence one of an academic emergency, but you're not talking about they didn't have 5 kids to go Division I football at Wisconsin and other places. Those kids, and they graduated from college. So those things that you, as a coach, you have to research that and present that and let people know this is what we got going on academically. When they have open house, you as a basketball coach has to be there and say your daughter plays or your son plays or whatever. This is what we have to offer her or him academically to further on. I know what these numbers are saying, but it's not telling you all the story. I'm telling you the story, and here it is in black and white. But once again, that takes work.
Yeah, and then sometimes they look at it,
don't matter.
And they just look at numbers.
Do your work, parents. Don't let the numbers fool you or your friends.
Or sometimes
the coaches
the coach will give you one to play.
Look at it, if you really want to be technical, like some of the kids that go to other schools, like to just play sports, all you need is a 1.7, and that is a D average. So I don't think that that's setting a academic acceptance or a good goal, for kids.
No, that's the state of Ohio rule. As long as you pass 5 classes with 1.7, you're eligible. But the thing is, that school got to have standards.
Right.
Afrocentric, just saying this, knowing this, they didn't won 5 state championships and done things, and they always been an academic emergency. Mm-hmm. But all their players go to college and they go and graduate. So, like I said, the numbers are right, but they don't tell the story.
And then there's less people in the school. So if half of them are failing or doing bad, then it's going to make the whole school look
and in the city league compared to the suburban schools, you don't have the economic impact or the other things outside of getting up in the morning every day to go to work that a lot of these people deal with the city. I mean, how many kids that live out in the suburbs getting up every morning wondering what they're going to eat tomorrow?
Right.
Or when they got to school. Well, you got that in the city.
Or their light's going to be on when they get home.
Right.
Or their gas going to be on.
Or if their parents are going to be home.
Right.
Now, they have issues in themselves. What I'm saying is it's easy to try to compare the numbers, but the economic situations ain't comparable.
Right.
So you compare the numbers, but the money thing ain't comparable because majority of those that live out in those suburbs live in at the minimum $100,000 home. I don't see no $25,000 houses out in the suburbs. I don't see boarded up cribs with signs on there. I don't see nobody hanging out at 1 or 2 o'clock. There's a lot of other elements that go into everything. When you say this, I think at any school, suburban school, whatever, you as a parent has to get out there and find all the resources and keep things there.
Because
in
when
the
people
cities,
send their kids to school just to have the teachers take over their lives and help them get to where they're going, then you're failing your kid if you're not involved. You have to be involved in your kid's education, period.
And the
sports or whatever.
I'm sorry, and the ones who don't, and you coach, you as a coach, you have to.
I had a family member, their kid went to private school, and it was like, well, they need to be making sure that they the X, Y, and Z. And my thing is, you paying, but you still responsible for making sure your kid gets what they're supposed to get. Right. You can't count on somebody working at school just because you're paying for their education. Don't mean nothing.
Right.
You can't expect somebody else to raise them.
We gotta wrap it up though, JB. Though, what should we expect from you this year with Northland? What are we gonna get from you? What are we expecting? What are we gonna see out of Northland?
Expect success.
I know that's right.
That's all you need to do is expect success. That's all I can tell you.
We congratulate you, and we'll be watching.
We'll be watching. Well, we'll be watching here at the city. We City League parents, so we definitely keep an eye.
Make sure you watching because I'm watching you.
We know. I think you behind our bench all weekend. You was behind our bench.
We left somebody out too because they Division I too.
We are Division
I.
So
y'all will see each other.
Well, they haven't played.
We haven't played Division I,
so I can't say nothing about them
because we just because our kids got points for coming from Berwick to Eastmoor.
But you still may have to get past them, and it's gonna be some work. So get ready.
He been behind our bench for the last 2 days.
I feel like Nelly right now. It's hot in here.
He was behind our bench watching us.
So
I was cracking jokes on your bench.
All your Division I teams, I think he's putting everybody on notice.
Yes,
he's trying to get the Lane Avenue, and if you're standing in the way, I'm thinking he's coming.
He's coming.
I'm trying to get there. I'm just trying to get there.
He already moved over this way into team camps and
just walked
everything. They was
summer league.
JB in the building. I said.
The tournament yesterday for summer league. He just right. How's Northland on there? Like,
he was invited.
I'm putting in work.
That's right. That's good.
That's what you're supposed to do.
That's what your coach is supposed to do.
That's what the coach is supposed to do.
That's good to hear that you out there for those girls and they need it. So
they needed it, especially some of the seniors. I'm glad you got there before they were gone.
Right.
Kicking the door.
But anyway, that's all for today. 94 feet and beyond.
We out. See y'all next week.
See you later.